Yeah, Letterhead's live.
Reminder. No talking during the intro. Jeez.
Oh, we're not.
Who's live?
No, it's
I heard that Letterhack was on. Is that true?
I just got a notification.
It's a really easy rule. When this little animated intro is going, zip it. Don't talk. That's simple.
Is it going for all of us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. All of your secrets have been revealed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the contract.
I will read
that. What is up? Look at this. Harvey K in the house. Hello.
Hey.
How's everybody? We were just talking about how we all got the script for tonight except Andrea. We left Andrea out of the loop on purpose. No script. So if it looks like Andrea is a little lost, that's why. Just kidding. There is no script. Look, this show, I'm going to say it again because somebody always comments in the chat or later on the video comment section.
Mostly it's in Letterhack's mind. This commenter hasn't been here for many months.
Somebody said it, Zero PE said it last week. They say, how come you guys never draw any conclusions? And I'm like, you're watching the wrong show. We're not here to draw conclusions. We're here to process.
We're here to
talk
draw
about things.
The audience.
Exactly. I
thought
because of Letterhack that this was a drawing occasion.
We do use that pun quite a bit, don't we, Harvey?
Yes, we do. Sorry.
We use that all the time.
You've drawn it out somewhere.
If by the way, if there are any comic book publishers listening right now,
we're available.
We're available, and we got the project.
Yes.
a most timely one, as a matter of fact.
I'm also available for the record. I don't have the project, but I'm available.
I love that. I love just being available. I need that more and more. I just got off like a 1.5 million person Zoom with Indivisible. Yeah, it was Indivisible. Do you know that organization?
Oh, I got all the invitations, and then I saw you were promoting it on Twitter and on Blue Sky.
They did a summary, a 1-hour summary. Elizabeth Warren was on there taking questions. They did a summary of their new 30-page document for resisting Trump 2.0 and Project 2025. So they're going to do refreshers and sessions weekly for the next few weeks.
It's good.
So yeah, they're really smart guys. I want to get them on the show. But anyway, so I'm feeling fired up, but I'm still feeling like every time it's different this time around for me. Every time, like I'm going through my day thinking, I'm working on my YouTube show. Who am I going to have on to talk about the Democrats and Trump? And then I'm reminded of shit. At least I have like, I don't know if skin in the game is the right term, but I have like an outlet for this stuff with you guys and being able to do a show on YouTube any day or night of the week that I want, as much as I want. I could bring on guests. I feel like I have an outlet, but I'm still, as soon as I think of it or see a headline for these appointees that are coming through now, I'm like, I lose it. I can feel myself fall apart. Like, I can't believe it. I was reading reasons why people, like last minute people decided to vote for Trump. It was like in the New York Times. And I don't know if you guys read this, but some of the reasons were like, well, I just thought, he made more sense or he was more genuine. Or I just don't like the way, it was dumb shit. Like they had too many celebrities at their rally.
So much. Like I can't even describe. I'm going to have to learn more languages to be able to describe how much I hate these motherfuckers. They're just like on the last. First of all, who the fuck decides who the motherfucking vote for at the last minute? Like you flip a fucking coin mentally. Like what the fuck are you even doing in the voting place? Stay home and eat a Hot Pocket for fucking Christ's sake. God damn. I just can't with these motherfuckers, man.
Yeah. So Harvey, how have you been dealing with it?
Well, I spent last few days in between being bothered by you.
Well, I mean, I think to
It
be
was
fair,
really
we're
good.
bothering each
I
other.
really love. No, sir. I mean, I'm not saying this. I mean this with great affection.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I don't mean to be pestering about this, but all of a sudden you were pestering me about this whole question. No,
He's pestering me too, and I don't have any respect. There's no due respect
that's the
here.
only reason he does these shows. He wants to line up with people to pester. So
Yes, exactly.
So okay, well, I've been writing a piece. I got asked to write this past. Jesus, already Tuesday today. It was Wednesday today. My days are all off. So on Friday, I was asked if I wanted to update a piece I did on David Brooks back in 2016. And I thought, oh, that'd be a great idea. I thought it'd be easy, but he wrote. So anyhow, the point is, he wrote a column the morning after the election, and basically, in this column, he lays out a historical narrative that explains how we got to this terrible state of affairs. And he says things in there which you don't expect out of David Brooks. Like, you know, he reminds everyone that the Democratic Party had only one job, to combat inequality, and they utterly failed at doing that. Okay. And then he goes on, he says he had to admit that maybe it was time that he would entertain Bernie Sanders kinds of initiatives.
Oh,
and
have
I
we
thought,
finally arrived there?
Yeah,
8
but
years later.
You know we're fucked when this guy starts writing something logical.
So the question that occurred to me, because I've always, by the way, I always thought David Brooks asks the right questions. He just always answers wrongly. So the answers he affords.
Well played.
And so I started working on it, and I kept going back and forth about how to handle it. Okay, was he actually becoming a Bernie bro, or was he not? That kind of thing. So it took me a long time. I finished it today. I sent it off. It was the managing editor of Common Dreams who we've been giving our stuff to, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
And he's looking at it tonight. Part of me thinks I could have done this 10 times better, and the other part of me is it didn't deserve any longer than I gave it.
Oh, well, that's a good way to look at it.
But you asked me how I was feeling, so I can tell you that in many ways it focused me. Having to write that focused me. The only thing that would have been more interesting to focus on would have been if you and I were working on the next comic already. That would have done it.
Yeah,
I wish. I know you've had some stuff to handle this week, but I do wish we could have thrown ourselves into a.
Well, we discussed panel 1 and shared like a belly laugh, like a laugh. And I haven't laughed like that. I think probably the last time I laughed like that was with you. But I was laughing really at myself, to be fair. But I was treating myself as the butt of the joke in panel 1 of our comic.
Does everyone know that you and I had not met up until last week, and then when we did meet up,
totally messed that up.
You were a mess.
God, I so messed that up.
Do you guys know about this?
No. Give us the full details.
Details,
please.
So I was in Brooklyn. For a week, and he was going to come to Brooklyn. We were overlapping by one day, so we agreed we would meet late in the afternoon last Monday, the day before the election, and I take him to dinner, etc., etc. And so I'm waiting for him to come, and he arrives, and I go down from my daughter and son-in-law's apartment onto the street in Brooklyn, and I hear from the distance, "Harvey, call me."
It's like, call my phone.
Call my phone. And what? If you're right here, why do I have to call your phone? You know. So it turns out he lost his phone in the cab.
Yes.
He wanted me to call him. He wanted me to really call the phone.
I had just chased it like 2 blocks and almost caught him.
Did you not? These people don't know what happened to you?
I heard about that part.
But yeah, I didn't know that he had Professor Harvey K trying to help him find his phone. What happened? Obviously, it didn't work right away because he got a new phone.
So he was basically, as I would be, scatterbrained
and I blew the whole meeting.
Yeah, completely.
This should have been a complete. Like we have to do a do-over now.
We should turn that event into a comic.
That's I said several times.
Yes.
Several times, like because we got a coffee, right?
Yeah, right.
And I was like, this is gonna be in a comic one day, man.
Yeah, and I have to say, Carrie, your wife, if I'm allowed to mention her here.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking for permission afterward, by the way. That was
I know that was good, wasn't it? Who else can I bring up that I'm not supposed? No, anyhow.
This is letter hack lore right here. This is Harvey letter hack lore.
So what happened was, using my phone, we contacted her and asked her and told her, what was up, and she was really good. She immediately found a number which didn't turn out to be effective given the hour of the day, but a number that you could call for if you lost something in a cab. It was another thing, and then she also and I kept telling Matt, look, the chances of anybody returning it, he was convinced already, but I was reminding him, are really small that you're ever going to see this phone again.
I kept saying things like we're seeing her having coffee, and Harvey's like looking at me going through it, right? He's just looking at me, and I'm like, I'm hopeful, and I'm realizing now, shamefully, that I'm nothing without a phone. What happened to my life? And so like I'm processing all this stuff. And I can only imagine.
I went on my phone and I found out that his company, who was the company with? Verizon or something.
Yeah.
Go docs.
We could just go. It was like 5 minutes away. He could just buy a new phone. And while there, he could have that phone basically, disabled, and he could get a new phone.
And I said,
I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to do that. But what it really was, he needed permission to do that.
I said, I cannot make these decisions without consulting my wife. I got to go to the hotel and do this.
Which was fine. I had a phone. We could have called her and gotten permission. So what happened? So he bids farewell, and I ended up going to eat dinner with my son-in-law and daughter, which was, by the way, really good. We had a great couple of pizzas at a local place there. And
then
the cabbie calls me.
Yeah.
He calls me to say that one of the passengers handed him the phone.
Can you imagine if this cabbie was like somebody that followed leftist politics, or was just like an educated person, and they're like, is this Professor Harvey K? Like, what a weird day for that guy.
Well,
but he was a comic book reader, and he said, is this phone the letter hacks?
My ringtone is Sam Cedar saying, the letter hack. Oh my gosh. The letter hack. Oh my gosh. Ooh. So he's in Brooklyn.
Exactly what you would expect if you are imagining.
It'd be funny if he's like, is that Sam Cedar?
So he apologized that he couldn't return it right away because he was already over in Manhattan, blah, blah, blah. And then I said, look, I should call Matt. Oh, in the meantime, you had called me, right, to say that or at least Carrie, you had called me to say you did buy a new phone.
Yeah.
And everything was cool. And actually, I want to say, fuck you. What do you mean you went and bought a phone? We could have, if you did that with me, we would have been able to have dinner, and we could have literally knocked off a whole comic book in one evening.
I mean, that's ambitious.
I stand by Matt 1,000%, though. Don't.
I'm on Harvey's side.
You've chosen wisely, Andrea.
Sell out $1,000 for a new phone without talking to your wife. Goodbye.
I ran through Park Slope to Prospect Park to get to a Verizon before they closed, and that is all uphill.
Yeah, you went a half hour uphill when you could have gone 5 minutes down the street.
I made it in 10 minutes, too.
Damn.
Oh, yeah. I didn't throw up or anything.
Anyhow, for what it was worth, you look in real life exactly as I always see you on Zoom.
See? This isn't AI, folks. I'm this gray. This is an actual dad bod.
Be amazing if, like, in real life, Harvey's played by like Samuel L. Jackson or something. It's like, oh shit, huh? That's weird.
I look a lot better on camera, just in general.
Yeah. I try.
I somehow look more a mess in real life.
No, it was.
We ran into you on the street. Would you have a shirt and tie on?
Yeah, but you'd think I was like an old timey hobo.
But here's the thing: meeting Harvey in person, and this is a good thing. When you meet somebody And it's like, yeah, there's my buddy. Not like weird. I didn't freeze up because I've met lots of like comic book creators at conventions, and for some reason, I'll get in front of some of them, and I'm like, why do I feel nervous? What the fuck is this? But when I met Harvey, it was like, yeah, there's Harvey.
Yeah, I do have to say, I'm going to say this in public because I say this to you all the time. You have no reason to be nervous around any other comic book creator because your work is spectacular.
That's what I'm saying on the inside all the time. No, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. You're my biggest fan these days.
I am because
appreciate the support,
and I know it intimately, your work, because we co-produce it, all this stuff.
I'm Letterhack's smallest air conditioner.
Like in your life.
What did you say, Andrew?
I'm the smallest air conditioner for Letterhack.
You cooled him down?
You're the biggest fan and the smallest air conditioner.
Ah, sorry, slow.
You know,
all good.
I'm
like
not kidding.
Small heating unit.
My wife said that I need to quit it with the dad jokes because I do those a lot on air. She said, no more dad jokes. You got to stop that. So I asked her, I said, how could I ever do such a thing? And she said, whatever means necessary. And I said, no, whatever does not mean necessary means whatever.
No,
so I don't understand why she would.
Oh, this is going to be so delayed.
That's very nice.
That's very a good one, right?
That was not bad. I knew it was coming. It was too, like, come on,
yeah,
your wife's going to tell you to stop doing this. I didn't buy the premise. It's totally unbelievable.
Well,
it took me so long. Hold on.
So Jake, how does he keep getting away with this? So I think that
that is not the way he says that in that scene, by the way. It's not even remotely close.
So let's, getting back to politics.
It's not a pleasant scene. It's not a comical scene by any means.
Hey, you know what? Let's just reenact famous scenes with totally wrong moods. I'm down for that.
Oh, yeah.
But also, Matt's being a good showrunner and putting us back on track.
That's doubtful.
I want to use Harvey's time.
You can use my time any way you want. I could. This to me is relaxing compared to everything else. These last.
Oh my god! Yeah.
8 days, 7 days. Yeah, 7 days.
How long has it been?
Exactly right. How long has it been, and how long is it going to continue?
I'm not glued to the news like I was the first time around. A lot of people. I had a whole show on Friday night with 3 guests: Horst Miller, Dan from the Internet, and Cosmopolitics. And we were talking. I said, guys, let's just get it out. Let's just be emotional. Let's process. Let's work through it. And because next week, it's business as usual. This show may be the exception, but I'm doing more.
Yeah, we're still allowed to cry on this show.
Yeah. So, but I had a moment where, we were talking about not being, talking about not being glued to the TV and being like, what's Trump doing now? What's he going to do now? And it's like, no, all this shit's going to happen. Like Sam Cedar said, folks, there's going to be a lot of these kind of moments going forward. We've been here. Let's just don't dwell on it, right? We got to fight, but don't let it freak you out too much. So I had a moment though.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was where Dan rightfully checked me. And I was, like I said, we were just processing. And I said, I can't wait to see people get deported that voted for Trump. And he was like, no, we don't do that. We don't want anyone to be in that situation. I was like, yeah, you're right. What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm some kind of glorified heckler or something like that. Like on the one hand, you get what you voted.
Only the undocumented aliens like Elon Musk.
I'm trying to find. I think there's a balance. I think you can strike a balance between, yep, that's on you, buddy. Sorry, I'm here to help, but in the meantime, you got to own that.
I'm going to say if you vote for Trump, I don't give a fuck what happens to you. Deporting is probably going to be the best thing I could think of when it comes to if you voted for Trump. Now, there's some people that say, oh, if you voted for Trump, I hope something bad happens to your family. Well, they didn't deserve that. They're just totally innocent victims. But if you pulled the lever, if you voted for the orange man, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
I don't want to take
a crisp for all I care, man.
I don't want to be gleeful about it.
Oh, I'm going to be extremely gleeful when these motherfuckers lose their houses because they can't afford groceries and have to pay rent because of all the tariffs and all this shit. Yes, I'm going to buy their foreclosed house and then burn it to the ground in front of them. Fucking
question for the group.
Whoa.
Harvey.
I have no tolerance for the Trumpers. I'm sorry. Fuck them.
I'll tell you with certainty, rare certainty, what's going to happen over the next 4 years. Life will get much harder for Americans through various means. And we already know this is coming. This has happened to a lesser degree than it's going to happen, but still nonetheless has happened for basically every Republican administration. This time, I think we should focus on connecting the bad things that are happening to the people that are making them happen. And my question for the group is, how do we do this? How do we say, okay, this thing that just happened is going to do this, and make it a thing that's in the cultural consciousness? So it's not just blamed on mysterious foreigners.
We got to do that fucking gas station sticker bullshit that they did with Joe Biden, where they put it on the gas pump and have them do like, I did that. You got to do that, but with like bread prices, you know?
Yeah, like when we see like a bank sign on a door, slap a Trump, I did that. Sure.
Yep.
Harvey, anybody? That's a good one. What else do we have?
Well, those are clever ideas. And I think, we know there are progressive billionaires. And the billionaires really have to sort of enable some kind of network to form that literally is like what do they call it? A loudspeaker system. I mean, the coverage by podcasters I don't think that there really is a left in America.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But there are left podcasters, just as there are left. There are these diverse areas where the left or the mythical left prevails, and there's a huge followings. How many people did you say were at that Indivisible? You were exaggerating.
Over 1.5 million.
What? They actually had 1.5 million people tuned into that?
Yeah.
Well,
they had like 2 million last week when they joined.
Then that's the kind of thing that they
Sunrise.
should. I mean, I hope people don't tire and bore themselves in such things, but that's the kind of thing that should happen on a regular basis as we go forward. And the discussion should be basically around the fact that these people, look, it's their fault. You point a finger at them over and over again. But it's also the case. It's also the case, and I think Jake, you said something earlier about labor. It's really got to be the case that if any of this is going to happen, labor has got to figure out how to get a grip on it, and really start acting like labor is supposed to start acting. I mean, I've said this many times to Matt that organizing is imperative, as we're seeing, but it's just not enough. Labor has to actually understand they are the only major force that can take on this administration and capital.
Yeah, the left and the right are all labor. So here's something that I got from tonight. We will constantly say no to Project 2025 and all that stuff, right? And we will constantly tell, and this is most meaningful for people in blue states, we'll tell our representatives, this is exactly what we need to say no to. This is what we need to stop. And then working back from 2026, we will fight to drive national backlash against the people who do not stop it. We say, you failed at stopping it. We told you, you didn't do it. Guess what, buddy? Midterms, primaries. You know what I mean? We need to start taking
underestimating
that
how
serious.
stupid these people are, because you have to understand, like, you know, when you look at the exit polls, like, you know, 80% of Americans voted for the policies of Kamala Harris. They just thought Donald Trump was going to do that. Like we can't just tell people
that's like
facts.
A whole new situation.
Like they don't know what facts are. Facts to them change. The sun becomes purple, then it becomes green, then it becomes blue to them. Like they don't have any consistent, coherent basis of reality. So like it's going to be very difficult to do that.
I've been telling people on these shows that I go on radio shows, that there are two ways you can look at what transpired. And one is the immediate sense, of the politics of the past year and more, and the ultimate campaigns that emerged, and then, of course, Election Day. And in those terms, we can explain what happened. Okay, a man who should never have been allowed, even by his advisors and his wife, to say he was going to run again. He actually had already said he would be a one-term president when he was running last time, I believe. Should have been very clear that he was not going to run, and the Democratic Party should have then engaged in a public debate, what otherwise known as a series of primaries, to choose a candidate, to work out a really crafted agenda, one that would be appealing to people. But he didn't. He waited till really it was too late. Harris, who was a loser in 2020 to begin with, they were both losers, but she was the worst. She was worse, more of a loser than he was back in 2020.
1%.
Yeah, she was like sort of just planted, not planted. She was put, advanced. I mean, the Harris people organized well, so well that the Biden people didn't know what hit them, and they created a very enthusiastic and energetic, quick campaign based around the convention, and I hate the fucking word, vibes of the convention. But it's the case that they came out of the convention with no vision. Nobody had any idea what the hell that voting for Kamala Harris would even mean, other than not Trump. And by this time, most people already were determined to, who were going to vote for Trump, who said, we're going to vote for Trump.
And the other thing about the convention, too, was like, it was all about like worshiping Joe Biden. Like, thank you, Joe. Thank you. Thank you. They kept doing these cheerleading sessions. He's the best president ever. Like, and no one likes Biden, right? Like, so it's just, it turns people off.
It's because they were all feeling guilty for having screwed him and pushed him out. Okay. That's one dimension, okay, of it. That's sort of one way of looking at it. But the other way of looking at it, which I think is a much more powerful way to understand it, is that this is the consequence of 50 years of class war by capital, conservatives, and neoliberal Democrats on the democratic achievements of the 1930s to the 1960s, maybe early 70s. And, whole generations have seen or endured that class war upon their everyday lives and their livelihoods and their communities and their families, their incomes, et cetera, and realize full well that the Democrats didn't do anything. That the Democrats over and over again said, "Well, we're going to do this," and they didn't do it, and it got to the point where they didn't even trust the Democrats. In fact, I'll go further in cases like Wisconsin, where I live, and Michigan and Pennsylvania, because I can speak specifically of Wisconsin, they hated the Democrats. They hated the name Clinton. They cared little for Obama. Okay, why? Because these people are the ones who brought them NAFTA, which was that like cherry on top to already being screwed in the 70s by Jimmy Carter. Okay, so look, so you're asking families and people who, even if they couldn't tell you the history that I could detail for you, they know what they've lived. Okay, they know that their grandparents were smashed in the 70s by the Carter administration, okay, which paved the way for Reagan. They know that Bill Clinton you could lay out everything he did. Had to do with, deregulation, mass incarceration, ending aid to families with dependent children. Come on, what's the other good ones? Oh, NAFTA specifically. I mean, they know that in their hearts.
I don't think they do.
No.
In their hearts, yeah.
No. I said they couldn't tell you that they couldn't lay it all out. They couldn't sit here and do what I can do, but they know it because they've lived it. Yeah. They've endured it. Look, working class incomes have not gone up in 50 years, even as billionaires emerged to literally run their lives. Sorry.
So we're back where we started though, and it's this fundamental question of.
Wait. So they grew. I mean, in this sense, David Brooks' article, his essay is right. David Brooks said that they had really were fed up, okay, with the elites, sort of telling them how good the economy was, et cetera. Why don't they appreciate this stuff? And along the way, especially, now we're talking a good 10 years or so, Donald Trump carried his resentment of, remember, he's from Queens, his resentment of the New York City, Manhattan type elite, okay, jumps in full force into politics. And he knows how to articulate resentment and all that. And he's already imbued with hatred. Hell, his father was either a Klansman or a Nazi. I mean, he knows how to spew vile shit.
Yeah.
And okay, so basically he's tapping into the anger that people already have. And there is no, look, you can tell people over and over again that open borders will not affect your jobs. And that's bullshit. It's just not true. Okay. And you can tell people over and over again a lot of things, as the Democrats do. And the point is, they know better. They know better, the people, working people. They do. They're not intellectualizing better, but they know better. When you've got East and West Coast elites, okay, who even now are probably living better than they did a year ago because all those Democratic consultants have walked away with a lot of money in their pockets. The media folks all walked away with even more money for having sold airtime on television. I mean, most people know that those people are part of the problem. And they're Democrats.
Let's slim this way down, though. So they vaguely know that the Democrats are insufficient for making life better. They're neoliberals, in other words. They vaguely get that. But at the same time, they see Trump via the Republican Party as like a system smasher, basically. But anybody with even a basic understanding of what these folks say they're going to do would understand that really the only reasonable choice was to vote for the Democrats, insufficient as they are. But we keep coming across the thing we come across every single time, which is they don't have even a basic knowledge. And so then the question becomes, how do we, first of all, we need something, I think, that actually offers change, not just preserving the old system, which is slowly killing us all. But we also need to be able to communicate effectively what Trump and Republicans, whatever the next Trump is going to be, are planning on doing. I don't have an answer for that. I guess then let's focus on the first thing. How do you reckon that we carve out a niche for pro-labor politics? Where do we start?
Right now there are, for the first time in a long, long time, you actually have names and faces in the labor movement that could possibly rally beyond their own union. Okay, Sean Fain is the most obvious one. Sarah Nelson of the airline flight attendants is another one. For all of all the crap he put us through this past year, Sean O'Brien is another one. Okay,
there's a lot of crap.
Anybody but him, but sure.
No. What I'm okay. Well, let me put
The point taken.
in his. I can't even believe I'm going to say this. In his favor,
We need to merge left and right to agreeing that labor is the way forward.
Yeah, and in Sean O'Brien's favor. Okay, what pissed me off about Sean O'Brien was not that he spoke at the Republican convention. It's that he literally was praising Trump and Vance. Okay, but the point he made in between praising them were actually pretty good points. I mean, he brought anger to that occasion. Now, the Democrats, why the hell didn't they just, the Democrats should have brought him on. They should have said, and we want you to speak here too. But they didn't want to hear what he had to say because they didn't want to upset capitalists.
I'm so sick of the Democrats, man.
I'm just sick of the whole goddamn country.
Can I?
Not just the politicians,
right now, me too,
but the people, the workers, like so many. Why are workers voting against their own rights? It doesn't make any sense. Why don't unions educate the workers? Do they have some like moralistic, non-partisan policy? Like it's malpractice when it comes to a union leader to have anyone in their union vote for Republicans. Like that's just, what are we doing here?
Well, it remains the case, for what it's worth, that I believe, although the working class to a greater extent than ever in decades and decades voted Republican, labor unionists didn't. The shift did not occur in the ranks of labor. It occurred in the ranks of the unorganized.
True.
And if there are organized folks, what does that do to? It's not due only to Republicans, it's due to the Democrats too, who failed. Remember, the war against labor that was declared early in the 70s, okay, what did Carter do? He turned his back on the labor movement. He had the opportunity to reform with the Democratic Congress the labor laws, to weaken the Taft-Hartley Act, to enable organizing, maybe even to break the South of its right to work laws. I mean, who did it? Carter. Okay. Bill Clinton turned his back on the environmental and labor movements that put him in office and signed off on NAFTA, a Republican project. Barack Obama said he'd put his marching shoes on and join workers on the picket line. Never did. And moreover, never put up a fight on the Employee Free Choice Act, which would make organizing really easy compared to what unionists were having to go through. So that you can't tell me that workers should necessarily vote Democratic. Look, women should say, what the hell? The Democrats had opportunities to legislate a national law protecting a right to choose. They didn't do it.
And like hell, though, there's nothing. If you're not voting Democratic, at least in this election, you were, by one way or another, supporting the Republicans. And there's no scenario in which the Republicans
I'm not. Look, I voted for the Democrats. I mean, I voted top to bottom for the Democrats.
Centrist Harvey K.
There's I keep.
Here's right. This is the center I offer you. The middle finger.
Yeah. Every time somebody brings up like Carter or something like that, I think to myself that in the very near future, the history books may be Jesus, World War II, Reagan, the evil Clinton, Trump. Like there's not going to be any Carter, Nixon. Who cares?
Yeah, What's that matter? By the way, in that vein, don't forget the last act, I believe, other than January 6th, the last act of the Trump administration, other than January 6th, was that he commissioned the 1776 report, I believe it was called. I have it back here somewhere. That what should have, I think he had hoped that he would be president and he would impose a new curriculum in social studies and history teaching in the United States.
Check this out. Do you guys care if I play a clip?
Yeah, let's do it.
I care a lot.
It's one of my own interview clips. It's about a minute. It's with
it was okay. So you said it was your own. I don't know.
Well, it's with Marianne Williamson. I know people have been upset with her. I get it. No, I mean,
No, I was her primary advisor.
Yeah, and at any rate, show me the perfect politician.
I do not deserve to be in this crowd. I'll just acknowledge it real quick.
But
I agree with Jake.
Here's the thing.
He does not deserve to be here.
Really
this is from
Jake
April.
doesn't, or I don't deserve to be here.
I don't.
The funny thing is that this is from back in April of this year. And after all, for the last week, I've been like, who was saying that about the Democrats? Oh, I think it was Marianne Williamson. I was like, wait a minute, was that from my interview with her? And it's from something I clipped and put on TikTok. Here, just, about 50 seconds. Check this out.
The Democratic Party is bleeding voters. It's bleeding young people. It's bleeding Black voters. It's bleeding Asian voters. It's starting to bleed Latino voters. And they keep saying, well, where else are they going to go? Which is like a decades old question. They don't have to go anywhere. They can stay home. That's just as dangerous. And now more and more people feel like actually we do have somewhere else to go. So the Democratic elite acting like they're going to win by scolding people, shaming people, or even scaring people. That's not going to work. This is going to be much more like 2016 than it's going to be like 2020. And so whoever, whether it's Democrats or whomever, let me tell you how they're going to win. They're going to win by offering the American people a way to materially improve their lives. That's what's going to win.
I disagree with that last part, but until then, I agree with everything.
Pretty good though, right? I mean, did that not pan out that way?
Yeah, Democrats are garbage, but like that's the thing is like I definitely understand the idea like Democrats deserve the blame and they do. They're disgusting and they don't meet the moment. But like I just don't like how do we reckon with the fact that there's 75 million motherfuckers voting for Epstein best friend pedophile rapist who just appointed another pedophile rapist to be attorney general? Like 75 million people voted for the pedophile White House. Like what do we do with this, man? Like yeah, Democrats fucking suck, but 75 million people voted for pedophile central in the White House.
They were all, there was all this great labor stuff they were talking about. That was another thing coming out of the DNC. I was like, wow, people were clapping and applauding labor. Anytime it was brought up, people were cheering for it.
You didn't see the people that were holding the things applaud now.
Yeah, but I mean, people always applaud for Sean Fain, and they had him out there, and I don't understand why they didn't run with that. No, they turned to Mark Cuban and these other billionaires who get out there and joke around about
and they're
being
paying
rich.
For these fucking like celebrity endorsements too, and like these concerts and stuff.
You just think Kamala Harris came to Wisconsin accompanied by Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney. Yeah. Lynn's her mother. Liz Cheney.
Oh, we can forget her name now. What
until she gets arrested, and then we all have to say that that's not cool.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
What?
I'll give
no. I can't wait till she gets arrested. What are you talking
Trump
about?
And when Trump starts going after his
looking forward to it.
What Williamson was talking about at the end there, I'm sort of in agreement with Andrea, except she put forward that people will essentially go with the group that offers a solution to their economic woes. I actually think that's true if you clarify that it doesn't have to be a real solution. It can be as simple as blame the brown people. And that's what the Republicans can do that right now the Democrats can't do, because the Democrats don't actually have policy geared towards doing that.
And then you have the fucking the Latino voters that are like, oh, they weren't talking about me.
Yeah, please keep in mind. You see, you guys are not following the details of these last few years. Keep this in mind. First of all, Biden came into office. Biden won mostly because Bernie deferred and basically gave him a seal of approval.
Don't remind
Everyone thought that Biden might just take on Bernie's sort of politics, in spite of the fact that we found out that he told a group of rich capitalists that things will not fundamentally change, despite the fact he said he would veto Medicare for all. Okay. Then he comes into office, and Bernie at the what's it called? He was chair. Has been chair of the Budget Committee in the Senate, and he was pushing for a bill. It was part of the American. What was it called? The American. What was that?
Rescue plan.
Rescue plan that it would include a $15 an hour minimum wage, for everyone. And what happens? 8 Democratic senators block it. 2 of whom were from the state of Delaware, had probably been mentored by Biden. Okay. Then what comes next? They go ahead with the American Rescue Plan, and everyone's so excited because they're going to. There was going to be that tax reduction, child tax credit, which was going to lift 50% of the kids living in poverty out of poverty. And all I could ask myself was, well, why the hell don't they lift all of them out?
Yeah,
right.
Of poverty. I mean, if it's that easy, just do it.
They love means testing.
Okay.
You're bleeding supporters. You're aware of it,
right.
but you're
by
going
the way,
after
and then
centers.
it only was on for a year, I believe. So all of a sudden, people who were briefly benefiting had it taken from them. By whom? By the Democrats. And they won't remember that they had a good year. They'll remember that the Democrats took it away from them.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's that kind of thing. What I'm getting at is the lessons they learned was that the Democrats are not going to improve their lives. And if nobody's going to improve their lives, then we might as well elect some damn good entertainment.
I mean, there it is. There it is. I think
that's the other thing, because the Democrats took the moment of being elected because of the pandemic, right? And then they started helping people on the auspices of the pandemic. But then Joe Manchin and everyone tried to tear down the social safety net. So then they just pretended, oh, well, the pandemic's over. That's why you don't get a child tax credit anymore. We'll just pretend COVID magically disappeared. That's why we're not going to give you any more of these checks that you brutally need to be able to pay your medical bills. That's why, don't worry, guys, everything's fine now. We solved the world, and then wait, but everything still fucking sucks. I'm still getting sick all the time. My fucking kids can't fucking read anymore. What's going on? I guess it's the Democrats' fault, instead of just being honest and following the science.
Yeah, and those things that they did accomplish do get lost in the hay. Like, for example, but so few people understand that they finally beat Medicare. No? Okay. No, Harvey, I think...
I'm trying to make sense of what you said. They finally, what did they do?
Oh, it was the Joe Biden gaffe during his debate with Trump.
I didn't realize that. By the way,
but
we got so much energy going here that Matt gave up the ship. He's abandoned ship.
Actually, I've taken it over, not unlike the Somali pirate. I want people to appreciate what you said, because I think that's it. And I think that's what we're contending with. It's that they think neither party is going to help them. And rightly so, by the way. It's either with the Republicans going down or Democrats slowly going down. But regardless, they're not going to get help. So what do they vote for? You said it. Just the most entertaining person. That's literally all they're doing. And everything else we're hearing, this is not worth taking all that seriously. It's just justifications for being like, yeah, Orange Man funny.
By the way, I left off another thing, which again, these things accumulate in the mind, even if people may not remember them until I remind them. I believe it was during the pandemic, when everything was crashing, that Nancy Pelosi appeared on television next to her double wall length freezer, and talked about, what is it, Edie's ice cream, which, by the way, is a more expensive ice cream than
of course.
I mean, and it's like there are candidates who allow the DC consultants to here in this state. I won't name names because I already had an argument with this person. The candidate for Senate in 2022. Who was running for the Democrats?
We're all Googling this right now.
He did his announcement ad where he's jogging along the shore of Lake Michigan. And does he not realize that working people immediately can recognize a yuppie?
Yeah.
And that's not an appealing image, right? Or how about when it's like who do these consultants talk to? What do they imagine? Who are they trying to sell the candidate to? The people who are already going to vote for them, the professional Democratic.
That's an interesting point, because we've reached an era where even the people that serve the masters are rich. Like the campaign consultants have been making a fortune for decades now.
You bet.
And the irony is that means they no longer understand the people they're trying to manipulate. So you have like a demon's assistant who also only lives in hell all day, trying to communicate with people, and it's hilarious watching them fail.
My experience with this sort of thing is from the corporate world, where consultants would come in and management would bring them in, and I was immediately like, just ask the employees. We can tell you what the fuck is wrong here. We can tell you how to fix all this. What, are you kidding me? Why are you bringing in? Hello.
You know what?
I'd be glad to tell you.
That reminds me when I was over the years at the university. Every time a new chancellor or some new, vice chancellor came in and wanted some new initiative, they would bring in a consulting firm to run some study in the community or in the university. When you've got a university filled with people who could have done it for them, but no, they have to spend $100,000 on consultants.
And this
it's
is
also known as money laundering.
Yeah, these are their buddies. They're invested in an app that the consultant is going to recommend we all buy and start using or whatever, and they just want someone who is not one of these fucking workers that we don't care if they're even here. So why don't we care what you say? Because at the end of the day, I don't care how they sell it to you. At the end of the day, I don't give a shit if you work there.
I had thought, I can't say too much on, but I had thought over the last few weeks that we needed to do a purge comic. Comic in which we just all purged ourselves of
I thought you meant like the movie The Purge, where everyone's allowed to kill everyone.
No. I would love to do that. I have a
fantasy.
great storyline. I've got a lot of particular interactions I would love to go in depth on.
There are two versions on the table, Andrea's and Harvey's right now.
Okay, what's
Let's
Harvey's?
go with yours, Harvey.
We purge all of our bad feelings?
We purge our anger. We can lay out all of these unbelievable things that the Democrats did that weigh on us, and then having finished, I say, okay, now let's get down to work. Just have it out there, and it would probably turn into a bestseller.
I have been pitching to my audience. I stand by this for now, and I open it up to criticism. Viewing the Democrats as adversaries going forward. Yes, we might still even campaign as Democrats in some places, but looking at them as like, look, they're a hindrance to progressivism. They have been this whole time. They brought us Trump, and we've reached an era where I find them being more hurtful than helpful. So viewing them as
which by the way doesn't mean one shouldn't vote for the Democrats, and I'll explain why. Because voting has always been, other than when Bernie was running, for me at least, a choice of the lesser of two evils. I never went into to say, wow, this is great. I feel really good casting my vote for this party, except in the primary when both primaries when Bernie was on the ballot. That was it.
That was my first vote was for Bernie.
Yes. But my point yes to that, Harvey, and also, well, look at me. All right, Betty. Let me try that again with the proper respect. Yes to that, Professor K, but also understanding that the new party that's being born will be born in the primaries. And we don't know what it'll be called, Republican or Democrat in the general, but the Labor Party will be a primary-based party for now.
Okay, so real quick, two things that I want to ask. One question from the chat to Harvey before he splits.
Yeah.
I think that electoral politics is a small part of the solution going forward. It's still a part of the solution.
Oh yeah, no. I think I've made that clear many times. I'm not. Go ahead. Sorry. Your question.
Also, the Democrats have left a huge gap on the left for a labor-oriented party to just come on in and kick it off. So when people keep saying, "Oh, Sean Fain should run as the Democratic candidate," I'm like, I want him to. He can run, but I don't want him to be corrupted by that bullshit. I don't want to see him get primaried in favor of Pete Buttigieg or something like that. So, yeah. So anyway, just imagine the scenarios. They could all be true. So here's the question that I've seen in the chat a couple of times.
I know this. I know the question, I think, but go ahead.
Can we ask Dr. K how we can stop Trump from codifying a dictatorship during his second term? Are you worried about that? Are you worried about free and honest elections?
And I'm going to tell you, there was one particular way to do it. Okay, and let's bring Sean Fain back into the picture. I have always said that people have said, well, we need a general strike. Okay, but people don't realize you only go on strike when you have no other alternative. When you're up against the wall and you really have no choice. It's you either bow to the bosses or you strike. Everything's been played out already. If it's coming to that, I have for many months wondered and asked people in labor, are we ready? Are we prepared to think in terms of defending democracy by way of a general strike? That would be the only means by which they could pull it off. And it doesn't have to be the entire country shuts down. It could be a rolling thing, just as
flight attendants.
Sean Fain figured out how to stage strikes against, I guess it was Ford. Did they choose Ford or was it GM when they were? I'm forgetting already. And they rolled it, so they did, and they didn't. They just all of a sudden, this plant's going out, then this plant's going out. It created a bit of chaos, you might say. Well, city by city, or industry by industry.
The threat of it is going to freak them out. I think the
only thing that worries me is they build up to it. What worries me is Fain has called on unions to arrange their contracts to all run out in 2028. Okay. The only problem with that is you've basically told capitalists we're gonna strike in 2028. You don't think they're gonna be ready, armed to the teeth with lawyers and all the other kinds of equipment they need? That I'm not crazy about. But the point is you have, if you're facing a moment where, as Andrea said, or you said, one of you said, the dictatorship is about to unfold, then. And by the way, if then they can't pull it off, then it's hopeless.
Here is what I recommend to all of our audiences then. Right now, let's try this again. Tomorrow, open up a new savings account for whatever bank you're in. Open up a new savings account, and every time that you get pissed off by something Trump is doing or the Trump administration is doing or capitalists are doing, you put a couple of bucks in there. Give yourself in that savings account a couple of bucks and prepare yourself to actually be able to participate in a general strike. So it's not just words, but you're taking action every day, a little bit at a time. If you have $1,000 in there when the time comes, that might mean you can pay rent for the next week and you can get through that.
I was thinking
in that vein, I did see something today. I guess it was on Twitter. Was it? They had clips of AOC telling people, her advice was, if you don't belong to some kind of community or organization, join one now. In other words, her point, because I didn't hear the entire interview, but this was just clips, was probably that we have to start building solidarities right now. Yeah. Okay. I really hate to back out. You guys are fun.
No, yeah.
And we're just getting going. But
thanks for coming on.
Been up since.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, come on sometime when you don't get up so early, and we can work out.
Harvey, you can just insist on coming on, man.
Okay. That would be
an invitation. Like you could just pop in. We'll give you a link.
Well, Matt basically has been telling me each week we don't want you there.
Well, yeah, that's just because I was saying it, but I've changed my mind.
Yeah, I'll break it to you. We all agree.
You're my old pal Jake. What is this?
Yeah, I was just a spokesman for the whole group.
Well, I didn't even know that there was a meeting, so I wasn't even there.
By design. Look, Harvey.
Andrea is my oldest friend in this group.
Andrea is in charge of the group. Okay, I'm just gonna let you know right now.
That's lore. That's canon right there.
But yeah, Harvey, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
And Matt, I don't want to text it after because I want to do other things right now. But let's definitely work out to do something next week. Okay.
Yeah.
As soon as you see a window,
Monday morning. Monday morning, first thing.
Because Monday and Tuesday are my open days. Beyond that, then it's all
Monday morning, man. Let's do it.
Okay.
Good. A little behind the scenes here.
Good to see you guys.
Right. Thanks, Harvey.
Have a good one.
I look forward to it.
Bye-bye.
So I have a question.
Okay.
I just want to do a shout out to Harvey K, by the way. But can we talk about how that MAGA stole the election? Can we get into that?
They were saying we are ready with lawyers. We've got our lawyers ready. We're ready with lawsuits, all this stuff.
They absolutely were going to try.
All right, so let me lay this out. Bomb threats from Russia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
How many thousands of people didn't get to vote because of that? How many ballots were thrown out when the voting places were shut down?
The outrage. They don't care.
To me, I just got to say that alone, they stole the election. That's enough. Slam dunk. I don't need to hear anything else.
Look.
Okay. Now again, Democrats fucking suck. Right? They're garbage. But let's be honest here. Like, is it really like so hard to fathom the concept that these guys spent the last 4 years seething in agony and rage that they lost, that they're going to rig the next one?
They did all those things. It did affect votes. Not enough to sway the election.
You can raise $1 billion in 1 year, pay it out to your friends and family with no oversight or accountability. Then your business fails. I'm talking about presidential elections. It fails. You dissolve the business, move on. Why? You just made all that money. Why would you give a fuck about the product?
Well, yeah, they don't give a fuck about winning. Yeah.
$1 billion is a lot of money.
And they ended up in debt too.
Oh, I can't.
Let me say
that election was the easiest effing layup in the history ever.
It's a disaster. Let me say something else about the general strike, because I had this thought. When the power was out for 8 days, I was like, what if the general strike picked up the day the power came on? So like because a lot of people, this is not true for everyone. So, I mean, there would have to be real organizing and solidarity, and not everyone could afford to do this. I get it. But after 8 days, I was like, I could do this. I can live like this. And if the power came on and I was like, guess what? I'm not going back to work. Fuck you. And there's millions of us. Wow.
Yeah.
They would be like, oh shit, because we just had forced downtime and we need everyone to come back as soon as that power gets back. They had people going to work before their power was on at home. Right? Like, you're getting FEMA assistance and going to work? Man, fuck that. That is bullshit. So
that's the other thing.
Some sort of strike overlap,
I remember on sweet. It was like the day after the election, and I'm just like watching people, like I'm taking a walk and I'm watching people just driving to work. Like, what are we doing here, man? What? We just elected a guy who's going to shut off. There's no more elections. Like, I mean, 2020 was the last election, let's be honest, but there's no more elections and you're going to work right now. Like, these motherfuckers just promised to raise grocery prices, like fucking significantly. Everything that's ever been imported is going to get, like, coffee is going to, like, coffee. The world runs on coffee. When you go to work, you drink coffee every day. That shit's going to go up 60% if this motherfucker's tariffs get through. Like, what are we doing here? Why are you going to work? Come on. I know why, because I need money, but like this is what the problem is. Like, we're not organized.
No,
and then even if we do organize, there's too many fucking stupid people out there, you know.
And I'll say this: if you put together a savings account and you find out that it's not enough to go on strike when the time comes, you can nonetheless find somebody for whom that is enough to go on strike. A freaking barista who your $1,500 that you saved up is actually enough for them to survive just barely, but survive for like a month and a half. Finance them going on strike. Like, but what Andrea is saying here is the feeling I have as well. Like, why do we keep supporting a system that's killing us? And I think leveraging the power we have while we still have it, which is the value of our damn near slave labor, is the last resort and our best resort. And it's if Trump announces like, hey, he already teased about wanting to seek a third term. He joked about it. But if he says, you know what, I'm going to run again next time, or you know what, we don't need elections because next time, then I think it's general strike time. And I think now is when we start preparing for that.
I'm joining.
Well, that's the other thing too. One way we have to prepare is we need to just like stop like consuming garbage. We need to stop spending all of our money on stupid fucking shit, you know, like fucking White Claw, for example. Why the fuck did I buy this? I bought this before the election, by the way, just so you know. Like, but like, we need to stop buying frivolous garbage. We need to stop eating frivolous garbage. We need to stop like fucking getting infected with COVID 98,000 times.
Down.
We need to be healthy. We need to be fucking serious about this shit, because that's one of the other things. Is Americans are pacified by their little doggy treats, their toys. True. They just fucking scroll on their phones and they fucking jerk off to porn all day. They play video games. Yeah. They fucking buy junk food. That's what Americans are doing. They're wasting all their. Yeah, actually, I've been having a spyglass directed for the last 6 months. But anyway, like this is like one other thing is like that's a capitalistic consumer mindset. And you know what? I'll say this. I love drugs. I love junk food. You know, it's all my favorite shit in the world. But and you know what? I'm not saying you need to quit it forever. But like, again, we need to break out of these addiction cycles that this kind of society has forced us into. And we need to kind of look, is this helping us or hurting us? You know, and I don't think it's helping.
I'm joining the National Writers Union. Now that I have a comic published at Common Dreams, I qualify.
Really?
They have me listed as author. So I'm joining, and it is less money than your average streaming service. So I just picked the one that's pissing me off the most, drop that fucker. I'm not only can I join a union, but I have a surplus, a couple extra bucks a month. So fuck Disney Plus, fuck HBO. I don't give a fuck about that stuff.
And then it's also
you have to think about where
you're spending money at too. Like, why are you buying garbage from Walmart?
Right.
Like maybe buying something from a local mom and pop shop, even if it is a little bit more expensive, is probably going to be a better situation. Like that's your politics is every decision you make. I don't give a fuck how much money it costs. Like, do you like, you're going to pay the bill in the long term anyway. Like we really, really need to think about how we're sending think about the Kamala Harris campaign. It was basically like a super like $1 billion wealth transfer. Maybe not all of it, but a lot of it's from working class people that are relatively poor donating to Democrats, and it was fucking given to Oprah Winfrey. It was given to all these fucking podcasters and consultants to do these stupid fucking celebrity meet and greet garbage, right? Like they're just sapping the money away. We need to be more intelligent about how we deploy our resources as well.
I think you're going broader in that point than I think you're diluting the point by naming too many things. Yeah, I think go earlier into it and what you were saying.
I have short-term memory loss. Which part?
Well, you know, video games and potato chips and porn, also known as the trifecta of an afternoon on a Saturday for me. It's spending money on that before you've spent money on something that's going to help us all, or even just help us all by helping yourself, is crazy. And as Matt said, like Matt just bought something better for himself that's actually going to be of use.
They have dental and vision insurance through that union. I mean,
first of all, that's amazing, and a pin in that. Return to it in a second.
But I can get press credentials
for a lot of folks.
International.
The problem is they got $20 in their bank account after they pay rent, and they ask themselves, how can I make my life better with $20? I can't. And so instead they buy a movie on discount or something. The thing I'm
still buying comics.
Sure, but the thing I'm offering to that person is savings account put that $20 in it. If you don't really want the thing that's tempting you in that moment, put it towards something that will give you the opportunity to have a better life later, which is your own personal strike fund. That's all.
That's another thing is how they
get
keep you
nervous.
down. They being the people up top, the people in charge, you being the motherfuckers listening, or the people don't listening. So they don't teach you how to balance a budget in school. Why? They don't want you to balance a budget. They don't want you to have enough money to even have a budget in the first place.
Isn't also how the fudge is an MMJ? Nope, that won't mean anything to anybody. How is a local news reporter who makes $26,000 a year, in a small town somewhere, gonna balance a budget? They're not really. Like, that's who it preys on. Anybody who society relies upon, but there's enough of them that they can be replaced. That's who it preys upon. Because you're not going to be sitting there like, well, how am I going to pay for my retirement? You can't. You're not going to $15 your way to a retirement fund.
We need to have short-term goals. Like, how am I going to buy a gun for the incoming fascist administration?
Legitimately?
Short-term goals. Or something you can continually contribute to where the money doesn't just disappear. It's working for you in some way. And I don't mean like, oh, you're investing in whatever. But yeah, a strike fund for yourself, or as Matt did, something that gives you larger benefits is wise. How do you get health insurance through that, by the way?
Those motherfuckers paying $6 a month for health insurance.
They're a union. Yeah, I don't know if it's any good, but so check it out. And you don't just qualify for it, it's available to you. Like, you still have to pay for it. But like, I'm looking at getting car insurance through AARP.
Hell yeah.
So but look, I always get nervous about a general strike because it's like there's a lot of people out there that are like, my fucking job will fire me. What do I do? That's dangerous. Yeah. And so when I had Senator Nina Turner on the show, I asked her that question. And that's why it's like Harvey said, there are strategies. It's not like we go, everyone, because if you listen to Jimmy Dore talk about a general strike, it's everyone's going to have to drop everything at the same time and take a risk. That's not how it works. You can get it rolling state by state in one industry, or you can get one, like if all the airline workers dropped everything all at the same time, that shuts everything down. There's going to be a decision quickly, right? So there's ways to do it. What I recommend is, in addition to the advice Jake is giving about having a fund, right? And that we're all talking about like giving up things that don't fucking matter to you and like really being smart with your money and avoiding debt. Link up with We Are Somebody, which is Nina Turner's organization for supporting people on strike and for supporting organizers. It's not just about organizing, it's about how we support those people while they're on strike. Think about that. There is a support system in place. People do have strategies for that. So, if you can't go on strike, you can support people who are going on strike. If you're going on strike, you can see how somebody might be able to support you. And you can reach out to them proactively and say, hey, our branch or whatever is going on strike. Just wanted to let you know in case you can help us with whatever your strategies are. So there are things going on out there all the time that are really helpful in those scenarios.
But how do we get Americans to do this? How do we get them to even know what a strike is? How do
53% of the UAW voted Harris.
I think we
only 53.
Well, that's a majority.
It's not a good majority. The Republicans want to dismantle their way of life. 47%.
Yeah. We do have to work on communicating to people what the fuck is going on. But in answer to the earlier question, I think we just start on our shows, making this a regular thing that we mention. And I'll add, not just money that you save up, but occasionally get yourself some food that doesn't expire, And you can prepare to share as well. But yes, the answer to your question, we just start telling people and hope that the message spreads.
But the other thing is, like, yes, we have to tell people things, but we have to teach people how to understand the world above all else. Because motherfuckers are... half of Americans, it's like 46%, don't know how to read above a 4th grade level, right? So like when you have like about 15 to 20% of the country that are rabid neo-Nazis and about half the country can't fucking read, it's no shit these motherfuckers are going to vote for the rabid neo-Nazis, which effectively make them rabid neo-Nazis or at least enablers, right? Because they're fucking dumb. They can't read. Now, again, a lot of people yell at me when I call people who can't read dumb, but I'm not saying that it's like necessarily, you know, like it makes them a bad person. But hey, I'm not going to lie to you. If you're 50 years old and you can't read above a 4th grade level, I'm going to be honest. I think you are a bad person because you probably should have learned how to fucking read by now.
Well, that's a good
honest.
way. That's a lack of education, ability to read and learn on your own. That's a good way to get brainwashed into something like white supremacy. So yeah, I mean, that is like one of the roots of the problem, like at the core.
And
but
they're getting rid of the Department of Education because they don't want. They only want you to go to. If you want to know anything about the world, you got to go to private school.
90% of education is funded through the states. I learned that today. That's a good thing. Although these fuckers have been fighting to take over local school boards and education departments for the last 4 years, and one's really been paying attention to that.
Most of the states are spending all the money on fucking American flags.
But when Trump says we're shutting it down, it's like, okay, man. I mean,
but well, mostly what the Department of Education does is it handles things like special needs. Like, you know, obviously Democrats don't give a fuck about disabled people. Right. That's why they let COVID rip. No one cares about disabled people, right? So of course no one gives a fuck when autistic kids aren't going to be able to learn as much, or, you know, people with any kind of, you know, writing or reading disability, they're going to be thrown by the wayside. They don't give a fuck about them, right? Because it doesn't, like, these people don't care about anyone else unless it directly affects them. They don't care about their neighbor. They don't care about, even if it does directly affect them, you know, like people, like, you know, like even if it directly affects them, their family, people they love, they'll still vote for Donald Trump. They'll still vote for hell on earth because they're fucking insane. I like,
yeah,
you know,
it's like,
it's insane.
It's not just giving an education to special needs students. It's creating an environment. It's adapting the environment and the teachers and the lesson plans for all students, right? And for anyone and all needs, right? That's what they're not going to do. They say, oh, if you're teaching racism, meaning about American slavery, we're shutting it down. What they mean is we're going to create an environment where you can't learn, which goes back to what you were saying, keeping them stupid.
Yeah. And I have a question just in general. What is materially the difference between a neo-Nazi and someone who doesn't know how to identify what a neo-Nazi is? They're so misinformed, they're so ignorant, they're so uneducated that a neo-Nazi will walk in and murder a minority and they don't even care or know what's happening. I'm sorry, to me, that's a neo-Nazi. I don't give a fuck why they're a neo-Nazi. Oh, because they're stupid. They never had a chance. They don't know how to read. I don't care why they're enabling neo-Nazis. If you are, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just too stupid. I voted for the neo-Nazi because I'm dumb. That makes you a fucking neo-Nazi. You're enabling these people to fester. And you know what? People like me are going to get our fucking shit kicked in if we stay in this fucking country because people, oh, I'm sorry, I voted for the neo-Nazi because I didn't know, I'm too stupid. Like, I'm sorry, we need to stop coddling Americans. They know what they're doing to some degree. They don't give a fuck about minorities. They are Nazis. They're fascists. At the very least, they don't give a fuck about fascism as long as it doesn't affect them tomorrow. If it affects them next week, well, you know, maybe they'll start to care. If it affects them next month, they don't give a fuck at all, right? They don't care about throwing people like me in the garbage. They don't care about throwing minorities in the garbage. They don't care. Like, again, look at the Latino voters going for Donald Trump. They don't care about throwing their brothers and sisters in the goddamn garbage. They don't give a fuck. They don't care about throwing themselves in the garbage. They don't care about throwing their kids in the garbage. These are insane motherfuckers. These are crazy motherfuckers. Americans are evil to the core. I'm sorry. If you see the world we live in and you just go along to get along, I don't want to cause any trouble. Blah, 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 blah. You are evil. You're a rapscallion, okay? I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. If you just look at the world around you and you're like, yes, this is fine with me, you're a Nazi. I don't give a shit how informed you are. I don't give a shit. Oh, I don't know how to read. I don't know what a Nazi is. If you don't know what a Nazi is, guess what? You're probably not going to be too useful in any sort of vanguardian uprising against this fucking horseshit. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but I have no tolerance for this. I'm too stupid to be a Nazi bullshit anymore.
I'm not excusing them, but in terms of strategy for dealing with this, I do hold a different opinion about these folks.
Oh, I'm definitely. I understand strategy. I'm not here in the strategy game. I mean, I hate these motherfuckers game.
But the assessment that they voted for Trump, thinking that it's gonna screw over people. And I think that's true of a shockingly large percentage of them. But I do think there is an equally shockingly large percentage of people who literally, and this is insane, I know, but literally don't think anybody does anything. I think that when they picture what Trump's going to do in office, they think he's just going to be there signing things that don't do anything and making speeches that don't mean anything. I know you and I know that's not true, but these stupid sons of bitches are out there in our world, and those are folks we got to reach. We just have to reach them because they're going to keep voting on the stupidest things. Like, I like the tall one. I like the funny one. What do you like about their policies? It doesn't matter.
That's the thing. Is in the exit polls, 80% of motherfuckers voted on policy for Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
And yet they thought it was Donald Trump that was saying all that stuff. But like, yes, maybe somebody needs to reach them. But you know what? I don't want to reach them. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just signing, and you can maybe, that's a strategy thing. But I have people in my own family that voted for Donald Trump. They don't give a fuck about me if I'm their family member. Like, why would any Trump voter or someone who's even thinking about a Trump voter listen to what some dumb fuck tranny on the internet has to say? They don't give a fuck about my strategy. I couldn't possibly fucking convince anyone of anything. They don't give a fuck about what I have to say. So I'm just going to fucking yell at them. That's my thing.
Good. I mean, fine. There's a place for that too. They do deserve it.
I feel like
a lot more.
I feel like at the end of every show from now on, I need to
take your blood pressure.
Minute. No, we'll take a minute to be not say a prayer, but have a moment where we're please God, don't let anything happen to trans people. Please God, keep this is why people pray. Don't let them separate kids from their families at the border or in order to deport them. I feel like I
mean, that's really all we got at this point, because they stole the election and now they're running to the house. But
Andrea's epic rants are my internal monologue, and the way it comes out is me saying, I really hope this doesn't happen. We have to do everything we can to make sure that this shit doesn't happen, because it's probably going to.
And that's the other thing too, is again, over the last week, thousands of people they're just checking out of the system. And I don't mean, leaving the country. I mean, leaving the planet, because just thinking about what these people are going to do is such an insurmountable thought process that people are just they don't even want to think about it anymore. Let alone what these motherfuckers are actually going to do. It's unthinkable. And again, I'm operating under and maybe we can agree or disagree, but I'm operating under the procedure that there's not going to be any more elections. Gavin Newsom, he's going to run for president. He's going to lose by a hair. 3 votes in Michigan, 7 votes in Wisconsin. Wow, how would that happen? Maybe it was the 98 bomb threats. We're not going to, these guys, they won. It's over. Whether or not they won legitimately, whether or not they won because of some House of Cards Machiavellian maneuver, either way, they won. America's too stupid to fight back, and they deserve it. They deserve to burn into a fucking crisp. All of them. Every American that didn't vote, every American, and hey, if you couldn't vote, that's a whole separate story.
I think,
but if you didn't even try,
if
you didn't even think about trying it, come on.
Here's the distinction I make. Maybe you don't deserve it, but you've certainly earned it.
Yeah.
You fuckers.
That's a good way I like that.
Nobody deserves to burn alive. Nobody deserves the worst that could happen to them, but you can go out there and earn it.
Yeah.
And when you turn around to the first person you see and say, what is this? If that person's me, I'm going to go, what do you mean? What the fuck are you talking about?
You
want me to educate you now on all this shit? Are you serious?
It's like when motherfuckers start Googling on November 6th, what is a tariff?
Fuck.
This is going to be important information today, not yesterday, not last week. Today. Let's find out what tariffs are.
November 7th, after they voted, they're Googling this. That gut.
Yeah, I did like, I guess he was a comedian or something, some Dave Smith or something. He was like flipping out about Marco Rubio. They're like, that's a war hawk. What the fuck? I thought this was the anti-war president. We're all like, what? And then like, I think it was Don Jr. or Eric Trump Jr. One of the sons said, you're right. I'm on this. I'm looking into this. And it's like, his son is fucking, what do you guys?
What the fuck?
First of all, get a hold of yourself. Second of all, stop trying to tell people what's best for them if you're that stupid. This is like when people go into the voting booth and they vote according to their own thoughts and logic and not thinking about other people without a care for society or the country, as in me, myself, and my little household or whatever. Okay, dude, that's fine. But don't go out there trying to tell people what's best for them based on you not giving a fuck I made the analogy that presidential election is like if two sports teams only played the championship and there's no regular season, there's no playoff, there's no other options. It's just these two people. I wouldn't root for them. I wouldn't be a fan of that. I would be like, this is boring. It's just these same two guys every fucking time. Of course they're going to get more extreme or distorted. Of course it's going to get stupid. And if people are still going into this process of voting for them based on any kind of a logic, you're not actually playing the game. You have to adapt with the distortion that we're seeing in the parties. And that might mean not voting, but like choosing other. That's why I say electoral politics is a very small part of the solution going forward. We have to find the means of survival in other ways.
Look,
it has to be extra governmentally. We have to rely on each other, but we're not going to do that. You know, we have to help ourselves. We're not.
Jake is not going to make it, dude. Jake is like,
I'm sorry,
yawning
I'm talking over Jake.
He's hiding his yawn behind a mustache.
And it normally works.
Jake is like extremely tired tonight.
Oh,
you're yawning a lot, my man. Are you okay?
I just got the depression sleepiness, but it'll be fine.
I am like, that's the thing. There is no light at the end of the tunnel. Like I just like for me anyway. I'm just saying, as far as the America
there is concerned,
though. Okay, let me hear it. What's the light?
Watching the fight. There will be people.
Well, we can watch the fight from anywhere.
Tyson versus Paul.
That's what I'm saying. People love the drama. People love like, oh, they're owning each other. No, there's going to be a real fight. Everyone's gonna watch, and whether that's voting or striking or showing up at your politician's office and protesting them, whatever the fuck it is, man, it's on. Yeah.
For those
of us
going
to enjoy watching,
who feel the way Andrea does, and I do as well, but I'm trying not to dwell in. It's just a fact. We're entering into a dark period, and it's going to be pitch black for a while. But I would ask ourselves, and we should come up with things, how can we make Republicans' lives worse? I'm not even saying in a productive manner. I'm not even saying how can we help this political faction win? No, I think the thing to do here is to be petty cunts and just generally try to make Republican politicians' lives worse and enjoy that. What now?
You mean super gluing pennies to the keyholes of their cars? Oh, they have keyless entry. They have keyless entry.
Or just if you are one of the people who engaged in an affair with a Republican, just come out and say it, just to embarrass it, not for any political gain. just so that we can all enjoy their misery.
So
do some investigative reporting and find that they're thieving from each other. You know,
That-
that's going to make them furious.
that Fox News guy, who's
He doesn't wash his hands.
check this out. What is this pipeline? He was like came out of the military, was running for office, realized that that he could no longer hide the fact that he was having children with a mistress, and was like, well, I'm going to stop running for office. I'll just do Fox News now. Okay, you'll be all right. Jesus. Okay, that's wow. Okay. And then from there, shifted at some point. It was like in a day, like overnight. I don't know why I couldn't get there. Overnight, this guy becomes hardcore MAGA. And just was like, I'll rebrand a little bit from conservative George W. Bush guy to hardcore MAGA, and was cheering on the rally before J6 like that day, as on the job, like with his microphone cheering it on. And so of course, like, he's getting picked. But like, how can you shame him for his affair?
Oh, you just find all kinds of things. And,
Trump is
you
a
don't need to pick a
convicted
specific person.
Trump is a convicted rapist.
How about
none of that?
Trump is a pedophile.
Yeah, none of this stuff.
Serial child rapist, appointing serial child rapist as attorney general. This is like, can we not beat around the bush with this horseshit? This guy is Epstein's best friend for over a decade. This guy is a serial pedophile child rapist, and he is the president of the United States because Democrats are fucking garbage and Americans
are being too optimistic. I'm not talking about doing it for any particular goal like swaying voters.
Oh, just do it to, just put it out in the universe and let shit happen. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Literally, okay, then. Just so that their spirits break a little more every day. Or even if they don't fully break, just to know that we're responsible for a very embarrassing week for these motherfuckers.
Take a proverbial piss on their front steps every time you walk by their house till they're like, why does it always smell like urine out here?
It's so strange.
What is going on? Yeah. Okay. No, I'm down for that. That's chaos, man.
Yeah.
We should all be agents of chaos. I love this.
Pretty much. Yeah. Just make sure that any opportunity we have to fuck with them.
I like those guys who stand at press conferences yelling, like when it's on the street.
Yeah.
I like those guys a lot, and like with whistles and shit like that. So anytime Matt Gaetz is like, I'm going to do a press conference, he's going to have to be inside soundproof room.
Yeah. If I can get in front of a Matt Gaetz press conference, I'm gonna be singing "Diddler on the Roof." I mean, it's gonna be. It'll be fun. You know, essentially rioting in the jail.
Anyone not on Blue Sky needs to get on Blue Sky. I'm at 999 followers. I was at 600 this morning. Blue Sky is blowing up.
Whoa. Can you share some of your followers with me, please? Thank you.
What you can do is a starter kit. So you can post, they call them skeets. You can skeet on Blue Sky. Yeah, we have fun over there. It's very pure. You can skeet out a starter kit, and it's basically just a fucking long list. It's like 1,000 followers. You click follow all, and you just follow them all, and they will all follow back. We're follow back. So I've got 999. I'm following 800 because I can't keep up. And if you don't have a profile picture, and you haven't filled out a profile, and you haven't tweeted anything or posted anything, I don't know. Get on there. Get your profile pic, not standard. Just get a profile pic, whatever it is. It's 2025 almost. Figure that out. Write a little thing about yourself, something witty, your favorite quote. I don't know, whatever it is, and then say, "Hi everyone, I'm on Blue Sky now." Follow back. You know, put something out there. Post a picture of your cat or dog.
I blew myself.
I just want to say this for the record. I ain't no follow back girl.
No, come on. And then people will feel more comfortable following you. Because right now it's a little weird. There's a whole lot of like weird little empty profiles. Don't mind me. I'm just fixing myself a glass of Get Over It.
Ah,
The immune support. The helping you
good.
get over it.
Yeah,
This
you know,
stuff
the
is
immune
gross.
support, you take it after getting sick, not beforehand when your immune system would actually need it. You take it
Well, you take other
afterward,
things before that.
such as
Vaccine.
Ayahuasca. Oh,
Two totally different answers, both correct.
I do like that my role has become the terrible advice guy on the fast.
It just depends on where you are in the world.
yeah, I mean,
guess
it's pretty
that's
good.
Whatever you
Yeah,
have.
well, not if you're
access
going to get the flu. I might, in sincerity, I might say try ayahuasca. You know, if you're hale and hearty. But if you're like, I feel a flu coming on, you know what would help? Hallucinogenics.
I
But-
think actually you may have an argument though. It might actually help more than you think.
Oh, cripes.
I really
I
do
don't
want to see.
recommend my own advice.
I really do want to see all my friends from Twitter on Blue Sky, and for fuck's sake, man, I'm at it. Twitter as of
Yeah.
Friday on Twitter, AI is allowed to use literally everything you have on Twitter in their AI gen. Say the gen word, generative.
Generative?
Genital. Generation?
Andrea, you said it. Say it again.
Generative? I'm the one who's
Generative
drinking
content.
alcohol today here.
Generative.
This is what
Generative?
COVID does to your brain.
No,
Everybody.
this is what hey,
demonstrated.
I've never been able to pronounce words. Okay, this is why I draw pictures.
That's fair.
All right, so
Someone else types in the words.
don't
I
tell
do
me I
picture
didn't
talk.
figure it out. And
Look,
I can't even write now. I could type wicked, but I cannot write anymore. It's weird.
Look, you can tangibly hurt Elon Musk tonight by deleting your Twitter account. If you're gonna miss your 500 or whatever followers, get on Blue Sky and tell them to go over there. But then delete your Twitter account.
I have 4,000 followers and they're gonzo. I'm deleting that bitch. Don't need them. Who cares? So I can do it. So can you.
Oh,
I haven't done it yet, but I will.
Bob Carmody just followed me on Blue Sky. That's my 1,000. Yeah, nice, Bob.
Yeah. May your
Fuck
9,000
yeah,
be Looney Tunes.
I just want to point out, I only have 400 followers on Blue Sky.
Gotta be active.
Not as connected as you know, whatever is going on up there.
Gotta be
so if anyone wants to support the underdog,
organic.
You know where to find me on Blue Sky if you can spell my name properly, which you should be able to.
Let's have a Blue Sky race, Andrea. Let's see which of us can get more followers by the next Left Past 10.
Are you on there, Jake?
I am. I don't recall. I rarely log in, but I am. I'm on there because you gave me a thing, and for a second or two, I posted. I'll go back to doing it just on general.
What's your handle?
It's been like 2 months since I checked. But look, I will. In the name of a competition with Andrea, we're not going to catch Matt yet, but in the name of a competition with you, I will get on there and post delightful content. But here's the thing: what happens to the loser, or what does the winner get?
So now you're not trying to have more users than Andrea. You're just trying to have
higher rate,
more new ones by the next show.
No, more total.
Oh,
you
dude,
say 400?
You're Jake.
Smoke you? Are you kidding me?
You're at. Do you want me to tell you where you're at right now?
Yeah.
10.
Fuck.
So, hold on. What are you at, Andrea? 401.
401? I'll still smoke you like a Christmas ham.
Okay. Do you want me to put out one of those? Do you want me to figure out how to do a starter kit with both of you? Just the two of you?
Let's do a Left Past 10 starter kit?
Just me.
What's the bribe?
Don't help her. What?
What is
She's
the bribe?
killing me.
You know what's funny though? I'm still losing subscribers on YouTube, I'll get 4,033, 4,025, 4,030, 4,028, 4,031.
Well, the election's over, so
4,026.
all the Russian
Killing
bots
me.
are disconnecting.
Yeah.
But it's just the up and down. It's like just.
Is your content better today than it was a month ago? Though?
Oh, you got that right. And the
probably
views are
not.
way up.
There you go.
Views are consistently higher.
Yeah, my subs go down all the time, but my views are generally static, and that's all I can.
My subs go down all the time as well, but it has nothing to do with YouTube.
I put a clip out from a Left Past 10 and asked Jake.
Okay,
I was like, I said, Jake, is this okay, man? Is it? What'd you say, Andrea?
Oh, the
Don't worry about
video. It was a baughty joke. It was good. It was solid. But you gotta watch back to get it now.
I'll watch
rewind.
back.
Look for this part of the video.
But 140 exactly, actually. But I did I put out a video and I wanted Jake's okay to put it out there. I'm not trying to post L's or anything, but he and I were having a discussion about something. I thought it was relevant that people were aware of this discussion because it's
You want to do
topical.
a victory lap, basically.
No. And somebody
Good.
immediately, well, I mean, I was like, hey, Jake, are you cool with this?
Oh, yeah.
And
Absolutely.
so somebody right away commented,
way to throw Jake under the bus.
Yeah, or how to throw Jake under the bus. Your old pal Jake under the bus. And I said, that shit was pre-approved, man. I got his
First of
approval
all,
ahead of
I'm going to
time.
use the bathroom real quick, so please continue
enough.
this without me for approximately 48 seconds or possibly more if I decide to wash my hands.
Okay.
wasn't gonna do it. All right, well, fair enough. Yeah, first of all, for clarity, he literally did ask me beforehand, like, "Hey, is this okay?" And that was very sweet and a classy thing to do. But I watched the video, and I don't even. It makes me nervous that I don't get how it's bad for me. I still stand by generally
it's not.
my if not the results. I stand by the reasoning. But
I didn't want you to think
comment.
I didn't want you to think I was putting it out there to be like, I was right, victory lap. That's not
well,
why.
two things. First of all, no, I didn't, and thank you for checking. But second of all, even if you were, I would have still been like, yeah, do it. That would have been like, yeah, that's great. Wait, if you're definitely, I'm surprised none of you have, you guys haven't gone harder on the Biden endorsement thing. I'm the only one that's made jokes about that. Haley, it was just fucking wrong. Wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean, but look, there's only so many sides. There's so many arguments in the discussion, and those were the two for Liz Cheney that were going around. And we had that was a good use of our platform. Why do that and not make it part of the post-mortem or whatever?
Oh, yeah. And like ultimately what we were trying to figure out is what's the best way for a center-right party to run against a far-right party. I mean, the real answer is don't have a center-right party. You don't need them in that equation. You either be at the very least a leftist I mean, you just need leftists. That's I guess where it really is. You need genuine leftists, or at the very least, I was gonna say center left, but no, not against far right. You don't counter extremism with compromise. You stay strong.
That's like bringing a toddler to fucking the construction yard. You don't want to do that.
And I think,
I don't even know what y'all are talking about, but
it actually works.
Jake had a great analogy where he's like, we're basically just two guys in a boat that sprung a leak and we're trying to fill the hole with angel food cake or chocolate cake. And I said, no, we're trying to fill the hole with angel food cake or expired angel food cake. There's a big difference. But anyway.
Well, that's the point. There isn't much of a difference. It's both insufficient. Like it's we can debate the finer points of it, but what would be better is almost anything else.
We should keep the cake that's not expired to eat.
Sure.
Is my point. And we can stuff the hole with the expired one and move on from that shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
It falls apart.
Again, but
Or we can get
That's where the clip ends.
We can get a
It- it's-
jackhammer and make some more holes.
Oh, the accelerationist argument.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go. But the fact that we then are debating again sincerely which cake would be better to stuff the hole with is perfect for what the issue is right now. Like it'd be better if we had something actually fix the hole. So that's what we're saying. Is like wood, some caulk, some nails. I don't know. Would you fix canvas? I guess, but anything other than cake mix, which is not good for fixing holes.
Yeah, that's just like a good classic left past 10.
Yeah, oh, it was good.
Did we reached no conclusions?
No.
My conclusion, get out while you still can.
I mean, it's not terrible. Keep your citizenship, but yeah, if you can. It's not I'll say this. If you can't, you take advantage of it by making yourself a worker who can strike, potentially. Hopefully you'll never need to. Hopefully we'll get to the end of these 4 years and you can buy a new shitty car with your strike fund. But that's what you do if you can't escape. But if you can escape, I mean, yeah, that's one less person to have to worry about protecting, frankly.
Yeah.
If you can get a vacation house somewhere and then just make that your semi-permanent residence, only come back for 2 weeks every whatever, sure. Effing, why not? I don't think there's any shame in being practical.
I agree with being practical.
Can I read some super chats?
Oh,
No.
that'd be a good idea.
We only read hyper chats.
Not that
here.
we have to get out of here. But.
Hyper chats only.
We need
Super
that
chats,
money.
honestly, aren't good enough. Ultra chats are possible. We consider those.
I will consider ultra chats, yeah.
Jake, we got 3 for you. Here we go.
American Wasp with Dieter McBusiness. Great name. Thank you for the verified $5 super chat. As I say on my channel, a loser is someone who is capable of winning, but doesn't because they don't learn from their losses. The DNC is a party of losers. Well put.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a gander. Ooh, with another. I'm going to read the name again because I love it. American Wasp with Dieter McBusiness with another kind $5 super chat. Need to rethink the kind of leader the left needs. No more Mr. Nice Guy or kind boss lady. Lefties don't love conflict, but our leaders must. Revolution. Hell yeah. I'm going to be watching that channel, sir.
I don't know if it matters to voters, but I agree.
Yeah. Oh, hell yes. Look, I'm
Read the name. Read the name.
Rich.
Read the name.
I'm basically rich now. American Wasp with Dieter McBusiness. Give me another kind. $5. Don't buy the superficial BS political analysis that says Trump crushed it. Kamala lost it. Let me try it again. Kamala lost it. 9 million fewer voters than in 2020. That's an 11% drop. Playing to the center. Yeah. Yes,
11%'s a little fishy to me.
I mean, the fact that anybody looked at these two, and even superficially, I mean, like even...
Oh, I agree. It should have been a blowout. I agree.
Yeah. There's just fundamentally where the Democratic Party is fucked and needs to be taken over or done away with. Either way.
And I look, I'm all for criticizing the Democrats. I have a whole show planned for it Friday night. I'll plug it by the end. It's called
Fuck the Democrats.
It's actually called
Matthew Strackbine.
Will the Democrats Ever Learn? And the graphic for the thumbnail is like one of those beep beep beep, and it's like a flat line with a question mark. So
yeah.
But I'm opposed to always raising the standards for Democrats while lowering the bar for Republicans. These guys are fucking jokers. They don't deserve to be in government, much less winning. And so how does that happen? And so this is where, like, okay, don't vote shame. But on the other hand, what the fuck are we doing here?
I vote shame.
They
If
just want
if
it
you
this
voted for
way.
Donald
No, they
Trump, I'm
want
gonna
it that
shame
way.
the fuck out of you.
I think that we're going to hear about voters, Trump voters, who are in shock now, the way we heard about undecided voters
Good.
prior to the election. I think they're kind of mythical. I think what's really happening is they want the country this way. They want this shit to happen like this. Does somebody have a snoring dog in the background?
Don't worry about that.
They definitely want us at each other's throats instead of theirs on the guillotine.
I think people like
there's no
watching
doubt
other
about
people
that.
suffer. They consider it a
They
win.
do. That's why
Yeah.
minorities love to get like that. We get thrown under the bus for other people's entertainment. Yeah, let's make the entire election about whether or not 3 trans kids in Nebraska can go fucking play soccer in 7th grade. Let's make that the whole fucking election because we don't have anything else we need to talk about clearly.
My dogs are goth. For a Canadian $10, which I think an American by now, last week, I don't know, this week, I think that's like $1,000. The left also has to work at addressing structural sexism within. Things are not even close to equal. If Kamala was the same in every way except male, would she?
I would argue
Trump?
absolutely yes, 1000%. This country is not ready for a woman president unless they're a Republican.
I don't even know about that. I don't know about that. Dave Marvin, what's up, Dave Marvin? $20 super chat. Thank you very much. Kids School is pretty much okay. Context, had an awesome call-in show last Friday. Not only did I have a guest on to process emotions and let it all out, had a great call-in show. I think Jake called in. Andrew, I think you were in the chat for a while. And Dave called in and gave us a story about his kids at school. Kids' school is pretty much back to normal now. Teachers and admins put the smack down. Still plenty of chuds. That's not going to change. But not roaming around like a teenage fascist mob anymore. Figured you might like an update. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, look.
That call was disturbing, man.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, we're doing this for the kids. I swear to fucking God, we act like we're mad at each other for how we vote. We act like we're mad at each other for our opinion on policy. The victims are the kids. They just are. They're the ones whose parents are going to be ripped away or parents are going to get divorced over political differences or whatever the fuck. Oh, my dad said that he was going to the Capitol on January 6th and now he's in jail. Or whatever it is. The kids are the ones who are going to suffer, even if they're being brainwashed and indoctrinated. What'd you say?
I mean, I hear what you're saying, and we should think of the kids, and ultimately that is what matters most about all of this. But I mean, let's also be real. Like it's gonna. There's plenty of adult victims. There's gonna be old victims. There's gonna be middle-aged victims.
That's what I mean. But it's up to us to. It's up to us to be the grown-ups and the adults on behalf.
I have a controversial take in that the kids are cooked and it doesn't matter because they're all gonna fucking die.
There is a, and I have one more super chat. Nadia, I'm not reading it. There is a
Nadia's getting censored.
Like, of course, kids would say crazy things. I remember a kid said to me, I guess it would have been elementary school, "Oh, my dad says Dukakis wants to make everybody gay." And I was like, what? So
sign me up.
Yeah. And so, you know, kids get involved. But with the internet, holy shit, Andrea has been online and connected and had a finger on the pulse of news and politics. Like in my 30s, I didn't give a shit.
I've been on YouTube since I was 12. That's when I first made my account.
The connectivity is making a huge impact. Yeah. And it's gonna do weird things. So it's kind of unfortunate. But that was my point with the kids. Nadia Yvette Chambers with $10. Oh, I guess this is you, Jake. Would you like to read this one?
I'd love that.
Read the name. Read the name.
Nadia Yvette Chambers, thank you very much for the very kind $10 super chat. I appreciate it. I'll tell you what'll happen. 10 to 20 million will be expelled from the USA. Trans people will be mass imprisoned. The Handmaid's Tale will look like matriarchy in comparison. Clinton's DLC destroyed us all. Let me toss this at you. Broadly speaking, I don't disagree with the kinds of consequences we're going to see. But I will say, not that this is a great thing, but it won't be, I don't think it will be as blatant as that. I don't think there will be a roundup of trans people.
Well, the way it's going to work is they're just going to pass laws that say being trans in public is like a sexual act akin to masturbation, and then, like, you know, put you in jail for public indecency or something.
I think it'll be more insidious than that, unfortunately. I think they're going to pass laws that don't directly target trans people that will be used to directly target trans people. Like how stop and frisk didn't spell out that you're supposed to stop and frisk black people, but all the cops that followed that knew what was up and they stopped and yada, yada, yada. So I don't mean to comfort you, actually. I actually mean to say we should be on guard for laws that don't specifically mention trans people, but will definitely be used to target them.
Well, it's, yeah, I mean, the other thing is, too, is they want to regulate trans people off the internet as well. Like, there's a good chance my YouTube channel would get blocked in the United States going forward or something like that.
And here's the thing, you know, all fairness to Nadia's comment, you're leaving out the part where everyone gets pissed off and fights back. You're leaving out the part where all the allies step in and try and make it stop. It's not just going to be mass incarceration without people being like, you can go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
I hope that is true, but I don't think it is. I mean, look at Japanese internment. There are so many Americans that just let that
even
kind of
if
shit
it's just me, you can't leave that part out. Like, there will be a lot of us doing that.
Hell yeah. And let me speak for trans women here.
Please go ahead. Go ahead. You get permission.
Okay, no, 30 seconds. Permission. All right. Good. No, I was gonna say, like, I bet there's a lot of people right now for whom it feels like, oh yeah, I'll believe that'll happen when I see it, because we just had an election where that's what we needed to happen. Trans people needed protection just a couple of weeks ago, and it wasn't there. So how I look around, where am I going to see that help? Because apparently there's not enough of them to win an election. So is there enough of them to stop the consequences of these laws? And
motherfuckers won't even vote for minorities, but I'm supposed to believe they're going to, like, get their guns
break
and
the law,
you know, protect us in some sort of, like, magical gesture. Motherfuckers don't even vote.
But look, hey, to be fair, this is why I mean electoral politics is a very small part of the solution going forward. The landscape needs to change more for people to realize that shit doesn't work.
Yeah.
We don't have enough participation in this process to rely on it.
And let me clarify, because I believe fully with my whole chest what Matt said. I was just stating how I suspect a lot of people feel. But let me tell you, this is a situation where care more does equal do more. And you can't care your way into your vote counting twice. But you can care enough about your fellow human beings that you're willing to open up your apartment to them, that you're willing to drive them to help them move to another state if they need it. Help them, man. Dodge the cops if the time comes.
I can take 12 probably comfortably.
In that case, I would say you can count folks like Matt and myself. Absolutely. And with Andrea, she's not going to do it if, say, you're a Palestinian, because she doesn't like brown folks. But other groups,
what?
Look, it's just been a while since one of us tried to get each other canceled.
The resistance.
How did you find this out about me is my question. Like,
that's just some assumptions.
There will be a point where the resistance becomes a rebellion. And at that point, it will be smaller than the resistance. These things will get smaller and smaller and smaller. And a big thing, look, I've watched a lot of fucking movies. I've read a lot of comic books. The rebellions are constantly trying to recruit. They're constantly trying to get people on the inside converted, right? They're always trying to win small little victories.
Yeah.
This is not the kind of thing where you can expect. Somebody just said in the chat, anyone protesting deportation is going to get arrested. You're going to get beat up and arrested. It's going to be fucking gross.
I would go as far as to say we need to
need
figure
new
out another
methods.
solution for things other than protesting, because protesting ultimately is a compromise solution between radical acts of resistance and rebellion and like voting and politicians and electoralism. It's equally ineffective as voting, and it also puts us in danger and identifies us for no real reason. So I mean, I'm not saying don't protest, but like if you're the only political activism you're doing besides voting is protesting, you need to be doing other stuff as well, because ultimately, let's be honest, protesting hasn't done anything. What did we do in 2020? We protested a lot. What happened in 2021? The cops got big budgets. Everyone got more money, right? So I don't know. Like, yes, protesting is a tool maybe under a Democratic administration, but under a Trump administration, we need to do some low-key underground stuff. And, that's why people like me, we can't be doing that stuff. We put our face on the internet. We're a bunch of losers. So if you don't put your face on the internet, that's where you gotta go out there, make sure no one knows anything you're up to, be in complete secrecy all the time.
Deploy all tactics. We need to do all this. Walk, chew gum, and cartwheels. All this stuff needs to happen.
And if I may, protesting is tied to voting. What are you doing when you're protesting? You're showing a lot of people how you feel about a certain issue. If you get 1 million people out in a protest, that's great. And politicians view it as 1 million votes across the country or whatever the hell. But in this current system that we have, we've just demonstrated, or we've just had demonstrated for us, that the voting block isn't there. It isn't there. We got to build it. So not only is it dangerous a bit to protest, but it has to be tied in with a political, I think it has to be tied in with a political leader or movement. So keep your eyes peeled for sure, because they may yet rise. But when they say radical action, to be clear, let's not just use these terms. Let's give examples so people know what we're talking about. It is things like hiding somebody who needs to be hidden from an unjust law. It is things like getting birth control to people who need it in a state where it's outlawed. It's being prepared to be to disobey unjust laws, which is hard to hear, I know, but prepare yourself for it. Also, as I said earlier, it is a radical act to prepare yourself for an eventual mass general strike. So saving $20 at a time in a savings account, or setting aside a box of vegetables that won't expire, that is a radical act of
supporting organizations that support people on strike.
Yes.
Mr. G, thanks for the $5. There is only one true worker party, cpusa.org/join. Thanks, man. Hey, is that communist currency? How's that work? Just kidding. Thank you for the $5. Really appreciate it. Can't help myself. Zero PE with the $4.99. Thank you, Zero. I appreciate you putting together that show you're doing on Friday, Matt. I'm trying to get some folk from BLM to come over and support in the chat. Thank you very much. Yes, Renee Johnston from Saturdays with Renee on Black Liberation Media. She will be on. Jackson White will be on from Paper and Politics. Or is it Politics and Paper? Oh, well.
Politics and Paper.
And Marcus Farrell from Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap, political scientist. We're going to be talking about will the Democrats ever learn? I'm looking forward to I feel
spoiler, by the way.
I feel like I feel like a kind of Nick Fury putting together a team. These three people have never worked together. They've never been on a show together. I feel like this is the kind of networking I want to do more and more. I'm thinking like, I want to have a group of people who's available. No, who's available that you want to see together but won't anywhere else. I think that's cool. So Friday night is going to be very special for me, because I can just I'm basically for an hour. It's going to be that thing where I just let them cook. I'm just going to
you got Black Widow and Yuck Eye back in Yuck.
I'm just gonna I'm just gonna ask, will the Democrats learn? And then mute my mic. That's basically how that's gonna go. Quick
It's gonna be
update.
interesting.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. Quick update. Andrea's blue sky is now at 403.
Hey gang, hey Matt, can you
Jake,
share my blue
17.
sky?
Jake's at 17.
Oh, I'm catching up to you.
What is Jake's handle? What is the username?
At
Don't unfollow me.
WYCD dot
WYCD? All right.
PSKY.social. They really got to fix those handles.
They do.
But
You can integrate a custom domain. If you own a website domain, you can integrate that there.
I totally do. Andrew, don't you dare unfollow me. I'll burn your house down.
I don't even think I followed you yet. I didn't know you were on Blue Sky. So
I will. Man?
Well, I didn't know. You didn't tell me.
That's fair.
Look at this. God damn. Dave Marvin with $100.
One hell of a reaction, by the way.
Jeez, Dave.
God
Who did that go to instead of me?
Thank you so much. Going to be super busy this weekend. Liam is getting cool colors put in his hair for the first time. That's bad. What is that? What they call that stuff? What was that hair dye we all used in the 90s? It'll come to me. No. Basically doing a Seattle urban weekend with a kiddo. Nice. Probably will miss some shows. Here's a hyper chat. Real time callback to help keep this channel going and growing. Cheers. Thank you so much. Look, it does. $100 goes a long way on this show. I really, really do appreciate that. Very generous. Thank you so much. It's excellent. Not the only manic panic, and not the only super chat from Dave tonight. Thank you, Dave Mark. Appreciate it.
What a mensch.
Epic.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Manic panic. We were all doing that. I used to always make my hair go dark black. My mom was like, "Why are you doing that?" And I was like, "I don't know."
To be evil Matt for a day.
Kind of punk.
When I was in middle school, I dyed my hair dark red.
Cool. Like Rubine.
I thought you had red hair when I first started watching your channel. Isn't
nope.
That weird?
You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do a Seattle urban weekend also and force my hair white.
Do it.
You have
accelerate the process.
You have such a good look right now. Sincerely, this is coming from a genuinely vain man. You have a good look. Right now,
and it's not going to last for long. You know, a couple more months, and it's going to be too white. You know, too gray. So you better take advantage of it now.
I was getting that new phone in New York, and I'm looking at the guy, and he told me he was now I can't remember. I think he said he was from Pakistan. But I said, man, you got awesome hair. It's like it was kind of wispy, but like perfect. And the widow's peak and everything. I was like, you got awesome hair, man. You know what? Your hair, my color. And he was like, that would be awesome. He was like, I would love to be Smokey. And I was like, Smokey?
Oh, yeah. That's a great nickname, by the way. I like Smokey. I can't believe he'd be the one getting it out of this group, but it's a good nickname.
Smokey, that's what they've been calling me over the last week. Because
calling me that since I was 13, man. Smokey Appleseed over here. What did we call him?
I don't remember. Oh, it should be something
Smoky Weedle seed or like, something.
It should be something super like lame and average. We're talking about the Johnny Appleseed of pot. It should be like Terry.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, and it's always like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. He's like, "What's I gonna do today? Oh, I was gonna plant weed." Nah, fuck it. No, actually, they love doing that. Stoners are like, I don't want to do anything today except plant weed. And then they're like science, like very scientific. They're like, I do this better than anyone.
They suddenly have a lab with special lights and yeah.
If you want a stoner to tell you you're doing it wrong, just try and grow pot plants in front of them. Andrea's at 405. Ooh.
Gang.
Jake's at 18.
Do not follow her without also following your old pal Jake. We are in a race. It starts.
Feel free not to follow
19.
me. You know, I
You
only
guys-
what do I tweet
Hey,
on Blue Sky?
what are
I
we
tweet
betting?
depression. I tweet
Better-
about video games, and I
better
tweet
get back
about
on there and follow
depression.
back.
And
Follow
then I
back.
tweet about anxiety. I tweet about suicide. I tweet about depression. And sometimes I tweet about video games on Blue Sky. But mostly it's just depression. And about how I'm about to win the race with Jake. That's pretty much all I post on there.
Fuck. Without a fun half.
I mean,
put a
hey,
1
man.
if left past 10. Yeah, look,
it's dark times.
First of all,
what do you want to do?
I think
Shit.
it's pretty lame to rename your group Lefty Show. I think that's
not a good marketable
weak
name.
sauce.
Wait, what?
Stuff.
We're renaming it? What happened?
They were talking. There was a suggestion to rename the show, and I was just saying.
Well, we
any
did
group of
Left
leftists-
Past 9 for a couple weeks. Does that
We
count?
did. But I was just starting being random. You know what? We don't need even fake beef right now. I was joking because Leftist Mafia is changing their name.
Are they really?
They are, yeah. They
What?
want something more marketable to normies. And I was busting their chops, but I think it's actually a good idea.
But that's a
guys,
good.
listen-
No. Hold on. Can we take the
Uh,
name?
I'm gonna say yes. We should totally take the name.
What the fuck? They got a really good name and they're gonna throw it into the fucking
Yeah.
Gone Zone because they want to be
I
marketable.
really
Wait.
want to.
I got news for you, motherfuckers. You're not gonna be marketable to. Well, maybe
Wait.
David Dole could be marketable.
Let's
to
start
normies,
doing
I think,
another
maybe.
group show like once a month and call it Leftist Mafia.
The left wing mafias, slightly variable.
Let's just steal the full-on name. They're
All
ditching
right.
it. Yeah, let's take
Should
it.
we even wait?
Just grab the
I'm
name.
doing it.
I don't
I'm doing
even
it. I'm
wait.
doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now.
I don't even wait. Just grab them by the name. I don't even wait.
And then somebody's got to send him a super chat and say, hey, Left Past 10 is now Leftist Mafia. Thanks. Or sorry, not sorry. That's okay. Hold on. Because it's fair, all's fair, but
Yeah,
they
I just
definitely aren't
renamed the
counting
stream.
on anybody doing that, right?
Yeah, they should know by now
I can't
what they're
rename
dealing with here.
That would be a huge elevation to our practically non-existent beef with those guys. Who
Oh,
we
yeah.
Well,
can't
we're gonna
call-
we're
we can't
gonna
even call them
fucking
leftist mafia. They're those
we're gonna
guys.
we're gonna elevate this from beef to venison. That's how bad this is gonna get.
All right, I just
Ooh.
renamed this stream.
Andrea Stagnant 405, Jake 20. 11,
Looks like all that
11,
depression's really doing me in.
Yeah,
I got to tweet
Look.
more about depression.
gang, what we got to decide. What are the stakes of this bet? What do we
All right.
get?
Okay, number one, let's pros and cons. Number one, Left Past 10, better name.
No, wait. $100. Fuck off with $100.
Left Past 10's a
Hell no.
better name.
Wait a minute, Matt. We got to do one thing at a time. What's this bet between Andrea and I? What are we gonna?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the name change. Oh, okay.
we will
so
in a second.
I mean, Jake,
But-
is that
but-
too rich for your blood? You're the one who
Oh,
brought up a
yes.
bet. You brought it up, man.
It's not. Oh, fuck off. How about this? What? You just want to come up with it later? Or wait, audience, do you have suggestions? Please. We open up.
We
the chat.
must create a sandwich of the other person's choosing. No meats. I don't eat meat. So
Me either. Perfect.
excellent.
All
no
right.
meats. So if I
And,
win, I must create a sandwich for you to consume, and vice versa.
Okay, I like that. We'll work out how we get.
Do you have
ingredients
any allergies?
out. No.
Well, you're gonna get
Okay.
some after I'm done with you.
All right. Well, that's one problem solved. Now on to the do. I'm not saying we start calling Left Past 10 Leftist Mafia. I'm saying we half-ass a new show.
Absolutely.
Just to call it Leftist Mafia.
I'm down to do like 5 minutes a month or something.
Yeah.
Just to park
Yeah.
it. You got to keep it. You got to make sure
Yes.
it's still in use.
That's effing genius.
This is what I'm saying. Dave Marvin. Hey, Dave. Save your money. Thank you so much, man,
Don't
for
say
the
your money.
$10.
If he doesn't want it, I'll take it.
Or give it to
I mean,
Jake.
it's all
give this
going
money
back
to
into the
Jake.
show. But look, dude, just wait until Bender
Jake
tells
doesn't even
Emma
have enough
about
money for a
leftist mafia.
background. Look at this. Look
Talk
what we
about
got.
throwing fuel on the feud fire. Hot, dude. Yeah, I mean, they already hate me.
That's true. There's video evidence.
They booed
I'm gonna
me.
we're gonna get that name on Rebound, like your high school
Hey.
love. Actually, Matt's the only one who won't get that because he was smart enough to find true love early. But no, we're gonna jump in on this.
Check this
You
out.
want to just do like a 5-minute show right after this?
Yeah.
Look, check
Or
this
not,
out.
or like at any point. Literally.
Aspirations sometimes bleed into the calculations. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, right? Like when I do the the letter hack shows, I.
Shameless.
Come on.
Shameless.
Come on.
The whole room booed.
Unbelievable. With allies like these.
Whenever they officially change the name, we should have like a 5-minute show that we record.
Day of.
It just
Absolutely.
goes up. Yeah.
Welcome to the Leftist Mafia number 70, whatever. What are they on? I don't know what it is. 170. I don't know how many years they've been on. How many years have they been on now? 2, 3, 6?
A while. I don't know.
It was an election night. It was like a midterm.
Wow.
2022.
All right.
Fucking love it, guys. This is a great idea. I think we're.
So as soon as they say that name is dead, we'll be like resurrected.
Absolutely, yeah. Cast a spell on that bitch.
Is their song? Do you think we can get away with playing their theme song?
I don't know.
We'll just fucking play like the opening to like Grand Theft Auto 3 or something. Just put that on.
Fuck, this is gonna be good. There's so much I want to do to get ready. Just make them genuinely furious.
Yeah, I thought I heard about them taking that name away. I didn't know that was serious.
I hope that it's not serious because the idea that they would change the name to appeal to normies.
Which part is offensive, leftist or mafia?
Yeah, first of all, if you're doing a show to appeal to normies, I don't know, maybe you should do a different show. Hey, Leftist Mafia, I think, that's where I go to see left-wing news. I don't go to the Leftist Mafia to hear people trying to talk to centrists or I don't know, man.
I might have put their point poorly, but I think they were.
Well, I'm down to misinterpret
I know
the
what you
point
mean.
and then extrapolate based on that because that's how you get internet.
People are
venison
changing
going.
formats too. I mean, Majority Report's talking about changing format. Nobody knows how much by, but
look, I think
they're going to change the format.
Good. I want to see the online left change as a result of this election. I don't know which is the correct way to go, but I think we should take advantage of the fact that there's a lot of us and acknowledge the fact that what we collectively tried to do didn't work. And that's not the end of the world, but it does mean we should sniff around for a better way. We got to reach the people that are being conned with, frankly, a really obvious con. So good. May we all
motherfuckers can't even figure out that God's not real. How are we going to get them to figure out that Donald Trump's a fucking gangster? These motherfuckers are they're living in a fantasy, man. I don't know. That's the thing when you are in a cult this long, you just don't want to face the scene of having to think about, whoa, what if I was wrong for the last 8 years of my life? What if I was wrong? What if all the things that I did under the name of Donald Trump was actually incorrect? What if I totally destroyed my family and friendships for no reason? They don't want to face that scene. They're just going to ride this fucking ship to the end.
But we so often confuse the people we run into with the average person that votes for Trump. The people we run into care about this stuff 24 hours a day. Even if they are opposed to us, they care all the time. But the average person who votes for Trump is not that person. The average person who votes for Trump barely pays attention. They might hold all those awful opinions, but they don't hold them very strongly, and they're horrible in their own way, but they are reachable.
I'm gonna reach over there, and I'll tell you what I'm gonna do when I reach those undecided and Trump voters, man. Let me tell you.
I mean, I'm not saying that we gotta reach them with kindness either. We just, yeah, like even if it's convincing them that, yeah, your industry won't exist if you continue doing what you're doing, or whatever. Your healthcare is going away because of Trump. Your Social Security is going away because of Trump. We'll figure it out. But our tactics should change following such a historic loss against, I can't stress this enough, the easiest person to run against ever. Literally, that's ever been.
I think what we I think what we need to do is have one subject of forced education.
Yeah.
And it should be the speed of light. And we should force people to learn about the speed of light. You can, if you could travel the speed of light, you can circle the earth 7 times in 1 second. You can get to the moon in 1.3 seconds. You can get to the sun in 8 minutes. You can get to Mars in like 3 minutes. This kind of shit. You will never reach, however, going that fast, you will never reach the edge of the universe because it's constantly expanding. Now, we need our minds blown on a regular basis, and we need to understand how fucking small this shit really is down here. It matters because it's all we got, but it is not the end of the story. There is so much going on. There are so many, trillions of fucking galaxies out there. A lot of them that you can kind of see. You know what I mean? Like, we need to force people to learn about this aspect of existence in order to get them to be like, I mean, think about it. If you were forced to learn this stuff once a week, all the way through school and college, oh my God, right?
Mercy.
That changed the context of everything, or what? What do you think?
I do think that we should be more ambitious as a species. I can't stress enough that
we need to make learning cool. That's one of the things, is like, when I was a kid, like, I used to like read books, and I'd get made fun of for reading books during like lunch or during like fucking recess in elementary school. I would just sit at the fucking table and read a book, and I would get bullied for it. I'd get torn apart. Oh, why are you trying to read books? What do you think, you're smart? Like, what is this? Like, we just have like a fucking anti-intellectual, like, everything. Everyone hates learning. Everyone wants to just get talked to and entertained, and no one wants to look at information themselves. How many people that watch these stupid fucking left-wing news shows, by the way, look at articles themselves? I'm talking to y'all. I'm talking to the audience. Do you read yourself? When's the last time you read a fucking book about politics? When's the last time you I'm just curious. Hey, maybe you shouldn't get all your news from internet news shows. Maybe you shouldn't. I'm just considerate. I don't know. We need to start thinking. We need to start reading. We need to start being curious again, because I don't know. I think it's weird. Everyone's afraid to learn new things. I like to learn new stuff all the time. For example, I learned about 8 days ago that this fucking country isn't worth saving. So I think that's a pretty interesting thing. My mind is relatively blown. New information.
We have an issue as a species that is bumming me out, which is that we have so many of us seeking pride in a narrow band because we want to be better than each other. And I think we forgot that the old battle that we're still fighting is us versus a cold, uncaring, unalive universe. And there's all these people that have, I'm gonna have pride in my skin color, or I'm gonna have pride in my gender or my sexuality. Fuck all that. We are part of a species that has no wings, but can flies every day. We do not have gills, but there are those of us who have lived underwater for months at a time. We are the only species on this planet, or as far as I know, any place in the universe, which has decided to walk on a different celestial body than we came from. We ought to be proud, and we ought to be a hell of a lot more ambitious. So yes, I think we should be learning just random stuff. And
yeah, that's the thing. Like when I was a kid, I loved the idea of like going to Mars, and we're still not fucking there yet. Are you motherfucking kidding me? What the fuck? When I was in elementary school, Mars was like a decade away. That was 20 years ago. What are we doing?
This is the superior leftist mafia, similar to the superior Spider-Man. I had a thought on that, and I don't. Let's try to steal Matt's power to get guests on. I don't know how practical this is, but the big problem with energy generation is that it creates heat. Basically, that's it. It creates heat. How feasible would it be to generate our power in like nuclear power plants on the moon or something like that and transport that energy back to Earth? I have no idea. But I would
use light. Just beam the energy through the light beams.
Yeah, maybe.
Into the solar panels.
Don't know. I don't even know who you would ask about that.
Well, you would ask the new Department of Government Efficiency head, Vivek Ramaswamy.
Fuck.
Update.
It's going to be so dumb.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez just now turned down an interview request. So.
Turned down?
Yeah.
What's she doing other than resisting a fascist regime?
At least they got back to me. Andrea 405, Jake 20. No movement on Blue Sky. Either way,
we're gonna need you. If you're on Blue Sky, there's a sandwich on the line here, folks.
You gotta follow back.
We're gonna need you. Yeah, well, we're gonna need you to on your Blue Sky account, skeet out my Blue Sky account to your followers.
I think you should both do that and see. That's interesting. You guys skeet each other's accounts out.
I'm not skating shit. I'm tweeting
do you guys
the motherfucker who made Blue Sky, you know what else he made? He made this little thing called Twitter. All right. We're calling them tweets on Blue Sky too.
Fair
do
enough.
You guys know about Naked Alf?
No, but I want to say that also fittingly, Elon Musk doesn't want it to be called tweets anymore either. So Blue Sky can take that. What is Naked Alf? Imagine
Blue Sky lore. You gotta get on Blue Sky, you guys. Come on.
Okay. Can we talk about how funny it is that, like, you know, I'm not gonna shit on AOC for declining an interview on the show, but like, why don't ostensibly left-wing politicians do any media appearances at all?
Yeah.
What? Like, they just don't. Why? Like, AOC had one bad interview with Jimmy Dore, and now she's just written off the entire left-wing ecosystem. Really? Fucking really? I don't know, man.
Like,
that's a little cringy. I'm not gonna lie.
Why would Jimmy
That's
Dore
embarrassing.
be considered the left-wing ecosystem?
So the reason I invited her is because she just did, like, I don't know if it was like a Instagram live or something, but one of her followers was like, what news shows, what politics shows do you watch? She said, I watch a lot of progressive independent media, like the Majority Report. And I'm like, she's definitely heard the words "the letter hack."
Oh yeah.
So I sent another. I have invited her before, and so I never heard back. So this time I said, maybe if she's been watching the Majority Report over the summer, she's heard the letter hack, right? So here's an email from me, and they got right back in like 24 hours. So
that's cool of them, man.
Yeah.
And look, I don't actually recommend that these people go on my show personally, but I will say this. If progressive politicians are looking to counteract the tenant medias of the world, the big money that goes into right-wing shows to build them up out of nothing, understand that you can do that just by being a guest for one episode. Just by giving the person the credibility to say, look, I had AOC on my show. So Ms. Cortez, consider reconsidering, because
I just don't get it. You have such immense like celebrity power, bully pulpit, and you funnel it into nothing. Nothing. A big fat wet shark. I'm sorry, man, but like I just don't understand like gaining such intense and immense celebrity and using it for nothing. Nothing. And I get it. You know, not everyone wants to be a celebrity. I understand. But like, I don't know, maybe shout someone out and get them to be the celebrity. I don't know, maybe hype someone up a little bit and then disappear out of the fight. I don't know. I've never seen, you know, and I like AOC as a politician, but as like an internet celebrity, I've never seen such incredible wasted fucking potential.
You know what I was going to ask her?
Incredible fucking waste. Disappointment.
My first question was going to be, what do you think the most valuable part of your election was? Grassroots organizing and that could actually be accomplished, or your legacy?
We'll see.
Should should you still be in office?
Look, we're all small time right now, but we are.
I feel big time.
Yeah,
I feel huge time.
We
feel mega time.
We might be considering ourselves all small time when we have 10 times the audience size that we do. From her perspective, it's a cute show that wrote in. It's a cute, small show that may go nowhere.
I said, here's all the people you know that have been on my show.
Yeah, maybe. But like, I mean, yeah, you did say it, but like maybe she read that far. But maybe also her staff just has a standard thing where they're like, don't risk your whole career by showing up on a show which could turn Nazi at any point. You know, like.
But like the right, these motherfuckers go on Steve Bannon's show. They go on Nick Fuentes' show, and they will say the most insane fucking shit imaginable, and there's no pushback. No one even remembers it like a week later. So the least these left-wing internet celebrities can do is fucking trickle some of this down, trickle a little bit down, and give some solidarity to people that actually fucking need it, and build a base that's excited and cares.
We should keep reaching out. Eventually, let's be real, probably Letterhack will get someone like that on his show first. And
not us, not on this show.
Definitely not on mine. But
and I just want to say, if you were to get AOC on the show, you don't yell at her. You don't fucking make her uncomfortable like a loser. You ask her relatively sane, realistic, tough questions, and then have like a good dialogue and try to like actually get something interesting out of her, make news. Don't just, and that's the other thing with when people interview politicians, they always ask the same questions. You want to get news out of an interview. You don't want to say, how do you feel about Trump getting elected? Oh, yeah. This bitch already answered that question on 98 different. We already know how this person feels about Trump getting elected. You know what I mean? Like,
so it wouldn't be the.
Sorry, go ahead.
It would not be the first time that somebody came on my show with a degree of hesitancy, and then at the end was like, "That was really cool, thanks." That I would do that again.
For example, me when I went on Letterhack's show, there was no track record,
and I knew her.
Motherfucker sent me like a list, like here are all the guests on my show. Crickets. There were none, zero. I took a leap of faith.
So
my point is, I get why they didn't say yes. I get why they haven't in the past, but times have changed. And
maybe what we should do is determine right now if she is really going to come on ever or not. And then we could compose like a fucked up reply.
No.
Like I could say,
keep that door open.
They said she's too busy. And I could say, nobody's that busy. Or I could say, we're all busy. Oh, that's what I should say. I should say, you don't know me, motherfucker. I'm busy too.
Say that for Claire McCaskill or some nonsense.
Jake, I'm not serious. Claire McCaskill is not coming on the show. I'm not inviting.
I would. I'm sorry. She's like my least favorite. What is she on MSNBC?
Expired angel food cake.
Yeah. I would love for you to. No, it's not really your style. I would just love for one of these scumbags that basically caused this environment to come on one of our shows. Make the mistake.
Well, I'm trying to get Cenk Uygur on right now.
I would love it. Get them on Left Past 10. Let me get at one of these motherfuckers.
Cenk Uygur does not have the balls. Here's the thing. He loves to argue, not brave.
Cenk Uyghur's balls are the size of raisins that went through some sort of like, reverse wumbo mechanism from that episode of SpongeBob. This guy's a little cowardly little bitch. He doesn't know how to fucking debate worth a shit. He only debates right wingers because the only time he even thinks he's good at debating is when he's debating right wingers. Every time he debates a left winger, it turns into a fucking complete disaster, and then he cries about it for about the next 19. He's still crying about that fucking debate with Olimey. Like, this fucking guy's a little loser. That's why he only debates far right psychos.
Yeah,
on the list of people who must
on.
never come on my show is one of my favorite streamers currently, which is Olimey. She's amazing. She got Eric Adams. She got Cenk Uyghur. She did a pretty good post-election cope stream. The sort of folks that can come on my show need to be the sort of folks who I don't know, like your Howard Sterns. What's a modern version of Howard Stern? Cenk and Anna are banned forever, says Looney Tunes, for appearing on Letterhack and Left Fast 10.
Who's that? Is that Pat Ryan? Is that? I like that guy, the sports interview guy. I forget his name.
I don't know.
He gets a lot of famous people on. He's like part of the circuit. It's like you go on Hot Ones, and then that guy's show. I forget his name. Somebody knows.
Do you guys do impressions? Like, do you have any impressions that you're good at?
I have a couple impressions, but they're not that good. They're a little bitter.
Okay, that's fine too. I want to have guests on my show that are actually clearly just my friends doing a half-assed impression. I think that
my throat's fucked up, but I do pretty good Gary Oldman from Slow Horses.
Do you really?
Yeah, and
I've
got the Penguin down pretty good.
The new one?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. I've yet to see that, but that's cool.
Oh, that show's amazing.
I'm going to tell you guys about the first show I ever did, since we're all here.
Okay.
First show I did with my buddy Dane. It was called The Jake Vergellis Show. And
is that name available still?
No, it's fully, I own it. But basically, we started filming this thing where I would interview like a famous author or historical figure. And we would do this every time we realized that one of us had an assignment due the next day and we had forgotten about it. And we would literally just like scroll some facts about the person at the bottom of the screen while I improvised an interview with like Edgar Allan Poe or something. And Edgar Allan Poe would always be like a fucking weirdo that had nothing to do with actual Edgar Allan Poe. Or like it'd be the Herman Melville or something, but he'd always just be whatever character Dane felt like playing called Herman Melville. And that sort of insanity is what I want to bring back. That sort of half-assed, thrown together show. When I look back at all my work, my finest, I worked for 3 news agencies. My finest work was still done in high school, trying to get an assignment done in the last second.
That's how it always goes.
What if we had Harvey K on, but just treated him like Edgar Allan Poe till he was like, I don't know what's going on, I'm leaving. And we were like, that's just like Edgar Allan Poe to just bail. Yeah, nice Pozek or whatever you would call it.
I would like it.
It'd be funny as shit to invite somebody on and just be like, with us now, like, okay, so we bring on Matt Bender and like, and with us now, Danny DeVito. This is amazing. It's just start asking him questions. He'll play along with it, and then he'll be like, this is weird. I'm not prepared. And can we just go back to me being Bender? We'll be like, what?
I do like
that is a real
chaos
name
of that. It'd be good. Nadia, thank you. Nadia Yvette Chambers with the kind $10 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Mass incarceration happened in '94 and no one lifted a finger. Protest will be mowed down like Kent State. Pinochet et al. Easily won. Color me skeptical that there will be any resistance to speak of. I mean, as Matt said,
can't be blatant. Yeah.
yeah, it start with your old pals Matt, Jake, and Andrea, and go from there. I can't promise you a rose garden because at the garden party we found out there ain't a whole lot of roses in the United States. But
I can promise, on the other hand, a toxic sludge pit, very low cost, very economically efficient. I heard it's going to lower the grocery prices. Every nearby grocery store, the eggs are going to go up by about $6, which we know is lower than what they are now. And so everyone, that's all I can give you.
Step one, find a community in your area. Doesn't have to be a community of trans people or black people or whatever you feel, or immigrants. It doesn't have to be that. Just a community. So you know people that know you. I hate that I am giving this advice now, but that's the safest thing you can do. That's where you start. Thing number two is you look at what you might have to do. Say things get too crazy in your state. Would you have to move out of state? Find people who live out of state who are aware that you might have to do this in a pressure in a tense time. In other words, quickly, and have them ready. Start building your own personal network of safety. And if you find that you have more than you would possibly need for yourself, that's when you say, I've got something for somebody else when the need arises. Count me as someone who can drive, make arrangements, fucking pretend to be something that you need. And I will tell the lies necessary to keep you safe. And probably F it up too, but we can Thelma and Louise it. Just drive off a cliff together. That would be fun.
That's better than living in this fucking shithole.
It's 12:44 a.m. on the East Coast. 12:45
All right, let's get the
a.m.
hell
on
out of
East
here.
Coast.
12:47.
Andrea of the existential variety, Blue Sky, is at 407.
There
what
you go.
can do is at 21.
Hey-o.
I should point out, Andrea made a post 7 days ago. Jake, 10 months.
And yet,
kind of
I am the fastest growing Blue Sky account on this show. I more than doubled my subscribers just during this show.
That's true.
At
the rate I'm currently going, I'm going to have
like
more
12
subscribers than there are people on Earth.
You're on a fucking starter pack. You're fucking cheating with that.
Am I? I don't know if I am.
Oh, Sam Cedar says
whose was I on? I don't think I was on one.
Woo! Nepotism, baby, trust fund ass bull fucking shit.
Nope. I think people are leaving Twitter and they're like, "Where's the letter hack?"
Boom.
And
are they here tonight watching this show?
Yeah, Barb Carmodi's here.
God
Mr. G's following. Mr. G's following me now. Anyway, this was good show compared to last week. Anyway, I guess.
Nah, last week was better.
This was a good show.
Great fucking comment last week.
Before we go,
this comment.
Okay.
Got a comment?
Yeah.
Ooh. Do you guys? No Comment Chick is live in 2 places. I'm gonna set my stream to end with No Comment Chick. I'm gonna raid her. What's this quote? Did I miss it? Fuck.
Yes, you missed it.
Yeah, it was a comment on my channel. This was such a good show. Thank you. Really moving to see a raw reaction to the shit show going on in the US. Thanks for sharing. You're all very brave. I have a spare room if you're desperate enough on Turf Island, though. Play safe, guys. See you next time.
I don't know if that's an upgrade.
But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like I've been trying not to watch that many left-wing news shows because like I don't see how anyone could sit here and pretend like it's anything other than what it is. Like, this is fucking hell on earth. If you don't think it's hell on earth, then you got some shit all like covering your eyes are covered in shit. You're seeing like fucking, I don't even know how to describe it. You're like the fucking character from the fucking Cinemassacre bullshit show. You're fucking insane. Like, what are you doing here? Like I just don't like when people like that just going along to get along, just like, let's not mention politics, guys. I don't want to cause any problems here, guys. Like, what are you people doing? This is fucking hell on earth.
But you wouldn't move to the UK?
Fuck no.
Like,
superior
look,
option?
my literal life is in danger, but I'm not going to the UK. Fuck off.
Nah, fuck that. There's 191 other options available.
No, I'm saying you think it's worse than the US? They call it Turf Island.
Look,
as far as moving there, yes, it would
That's
be.
just
Because
because
how
of
would you set
J.K.
up
Rowling, though,
there?
right?
What?
I do want to point out that where I currently am might not be perfect, but I did literally drive through hell to get here.
Through hell? Oh,
Yeah.
I get it.
It's a town in Michigan.
Oh.
And I had to drive through it to get here. So it's doable, is all I'm saying.
I was like, you drove through Greenwood, South Carolina? When? You didn't stop and say hi? That's fucked up. Anyway, let's check in one more time on Blue Sky. No movement. Sorry, guys. Oh, Andrea, 408. Did I already call that?
No, she was 407 last time.
Jake, 21 to 408.
She's catching up.
Guys, tune in next week to see how those numbers are moving. I'm on tomorrow. I have a bonus episode tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Tune in right here. It's open to everyone, not members only. I'm going to alternate between members only and bonus episodes.
Oh,
that's tomorrow.
Holy fucking
shit. We're not talking politics. I'm going to start encouraging more people. I'm going to start encouraging more people to have YouTube shows and podcasts. And I want to talk about specifically, I'm going to get salty, how to invite people onto your podcast.
Good.
I could use some help with that.
And this is basically how not to. So
fair enough.
That's why it's salty. And then we're going to talk about comic books. So anyway, if you want to hang out tomorrow between 11 and 12, meet me back here. And then Friday night, Jackson White, Marcus Farrell, Renee Johnson talking about, will the Democrats ever learn? What do you guys have going on?
After you, please. Whole lot of nothing. That's fine.
I don't. I'm not doing anything. So.
Well, coming up on WYCD, I'm going to be doing, I just decided during the show, I'm going to be doing a show on how to prepare for a general strike. I think that is going to be our answer to Trump attempting to take away democracy in its entirety, is get the general strike ready. Who knows if it'll work, but if it is going to work, we should start preparing now. And I'm also going to be trying to trick Andrea or goad her into doing more streams with me.
Maybe. I might do streams with other people, but I'm not doing anything on my channel.
We're keeping Andrea on air one way or another.
Yeah. Oh, and I'll be
we're going through cables in the ground, technically.
Unless you're using Starlink, in which case, hi Elon. Yick.
I like how your hand has a teal outline.
Yeah, right.
That's strange.
Hey, remember earlier when Harvey gave Jake the middle finger? That's how you know you're on his good side, by the way.
That was my favorite part, personally.
It's a positive. He gives me the finger all the time, and I'm like, you.
I do like that if somebody gives me the finger now, I could be like, you think you're fancy? I've been flicked off by Professor Harvey K. I've been flicked off
by the best.
By famous scholars.
A lefty from way back, essentially. I think
I
it was
wish
his
I had
left
something
hand
fun
too.
to say, but I'm too depressed about the state of the world.
That's okay because we're not
I'm gonna
supposed to
cry
talk
myself to
over the
fucking sleep.
outro.
I'm gonna fucking cry
bad
myself. I'm
thing.
gonna wake up at 3 p.m. hungover in a pile of my own tears and blood and sweat and